Texas coming up on College Football Saturday, presented by KFC.
Today, it's a marquee Big 12 conference showdown between the third-ranked Texas Longhorns and the battle-tested Kansas Jayhawks. Heisman candidate Colt McCoy leads a red-hot Texas offense. Last week, he threw 5 TDs to 4 different receivers. The Kansas scoring machine is pretty sharp also. Running back Jake Sharp pounds out the yards. Desmond Briscoe racks up over 97 yards a game. And Todd Reesing has become the leading passer in Jayhawk history. The Longhorn defense will be challenged today. Texas must win if they expect an invite to the national championship. A critical Big 12 battle. Third-ranked Texas against the Kansas Jayhawks.
College Football Saturday starts now.
From Cavisto Field at Memorial Stadium in cold Lawrence, Kansas, it's Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Today, the third-ranked Texas Longhorns meet the Kansas Jayhawks. The South Division of the Big 12 Conference still up for grabs as Texas Tech is in the driver's seat, undefeated in 08, but Texas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State all remain alive. Meanwhile, in the Big 12 North, Kansas is trying to keep their hopes alive with a win today, but Missouri clinches at least a share of the division title with a win over Iowa State later this afternoon. The Big 12, known as an offensive conference, with some of the best quarterback play in the nation. Colt McCoy of Texas on display this afternoon. Austin, Texas native Todd Reesing of Kansas. Dave Lapham, Dan McLaughlin with you. It is cold, it is windy, and it's senior day here at KU. Welcome to Lawrence, Kansas. When you take a look at UT, certainly they have a chance to get back in that national championship picture. They've got a great quarterback, obviously, in Colt McCoy, and 2 explosive receivers.
They really do, Dan. Quan Cosby has 66 catches. Jordan Shipley has 70. An unbelievable 1-2 punch that takes the pressure off of each other. And they are good. The fun starts after the catch. They're so good in space with the make you miss. They've each returned a punt and a kickoff for touchdowns in their career as return men as well.
Todd Reesing has been struggling in his last 4 games. He's 1-3 in those 4, but in his backfield, picking up the slack a little bit has been Jake Sharp.
Oh, Sharp has been razor sharp in conference play, Dan, averaging over 108 yards per game in conference. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns on the season, and he can do it inside as well as outside. Ask Kansas State, where he rushed for 4 touchdowns, a couple of them between the tackles. Then he can get on the perimeter and really hurt you with the speed and distort the geometry and the football angles. Also a fine receiver out of the backfield. He is a dual threat at that running back position, and he's back. Ryan Arakpo, 9 sacks, 23 pressures, 15 tackles for loss, a disruptive force off the edge. He will be pressuring Todd Reesing today.
Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Texas, Kansas. When we return, Michael Eaves and DeMarco Farr in our College Football Saturday studio.
You're watching Fox Sports Southwest, where Southwest fans come first.
Welcome to Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Michael Eaves, DeMarco Farr with you all day long as we take a look at our Big 12 field pass. What a matchup we have to start the day here. Number 3, Texas taking on Kansas. The Longhorns have 6 straight wins against Kansas in Big 12 play. The last time they lost to the Jayhawks, 1938.
I wasn't born yet.
I don't think a lot of people were, actually, a long time ago. As we take a look at our Big 12 schedule for the day, several teams in action with rankings, including Missouri, who you'll see coming up a little bit later today. But how about our game coming up? 34 sacks by that Texas defense that leads the Big 12. That could be bad news today for the Kansas Jayhawks. And speaking of that, how do you think Texas will contain Todd Reesing?
When I talked to the defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, over at Texas, he told me something interesting. He wants to keep Todd Reesing in the pocket. Now, Reesing's better when he actually scrambles, gets outside the pocket, but they found through watching film, he's not as effective when he has to throw through the trees. So look for Arakpo, Sergio Kendall, get upfield, build a wall, and make him throw in the pocket.
Sometimes those things are easier said than done against someone as the caliber of Todd Reese.
Turn on Tiesto.
Get the footwork going. We want you to be a part of today's festivities. We'll be back at the half for your next dose of text time. 310-425-9455. Get those questions for DeMarco. But up next, though, to Lawrence, Mac Brown, Chuck Mangino. You know, the Jayhawks have won 14 of their last 15 games in Lawrence. Wow. Mac Brown trying to stop that. Enjoy the first half. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC.
Fox Sports Southwest takes the biggest matchups in the Big 12 and fast forwards to the good parts. The Big 12 No Huddle all week on Fox Sports Southwest.
College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. Life tastes better with KFC. And brought to you in part by FreeCreditReport.com. Do you know your credit score? You can find out right now, instantly and online at FreeCreditReport.com. And by Best Buy, you happier. The Kansas Jayhawks senior day, and they have won 14 of their last 15 games here at home. The Texas Longhorns on the other side, a 9-1 record with their win last weekend over Baylor. Jim Knox is standing by with head coach Mark Mangino of the Jayhawks.
Coach, big day in Lawrence, senior day, third-ranked Longhorns are in town. How do you pull off the upset? It's against a team that's averaging 44 points a game.
Well, number one, we got to play good, smart football on defense. You know, we got to get some pressure on the quarterback. We can't let the quarterback take the game over here. We've got to slow him down a little bit. I think we can do that. But we have to play smart football to do it.
Best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Dan?
Jim, thank you. The weather, it is cold. The temperature, 37 degrees. The wind chill, though, in the mid-20s. Wind will be a factor, 23 miles per hour here in Lawrence, Kansas. The coin toss, won by Texas. They defer. Kansas will receive to start this game. And the freshman, Justin Tucker, kicks it away. And here we go on College Football Saturday. Out of his own end zone. And breaking out to the outside and brought down at the 18 was Herford. Lost it as he went down. Let's take a look at the KFC starting lineup for the Kansas Jayhawks, and a good one up front, in particular when you talk about their senior center, Dave.
Yeah, and Adrian May's done a nice job at left guard. Desmond Briscoe, big-time player at the wide receiver position, 6'3", 200 pounds. Dan can leverage smaller defensive backs with that size-speed ratio.
Todd Reese, the all-time passing leader in Kansas history. Over 6,600 yards. He'll work from the shotgun. Jake Sharp is also in the backfield. First possession for KU, and they put it up. And the catch is made by Kerry Meyer. Let's meet the starting lineup defensively for Texas. Brought to you by KFC. And up front, how about Sergio Kendall?
Yeah, he comes off the edge. He's got some speed, translates to power. We're going to play two linebackers in that nickel look. McElroy, the leading tackler on the football team. And in the secondary, Ryan Palmer last week against Baylor. A pick-6, interception for touchdown, and a big stop on a 4th down in a different drive.
Ryan Arakpo, will see him on passing downs. With 9 sacks, as we mentioned in our open, which is in the top 5 nationally. This is Sharp. Close to a first down. Let's take a look at our days in scatter report.
Well, first thing they have to do, Dan, is bounce back. A disappointing loss last week against Nebraska. Senior day, can't dwell on the disappointment. Unpredictability. You're going to have to mix it up. Be contrarian. Gadget, gimmick plays, some curveball plays. Protection. Young Texas defensive backs are vulnerable if you can protect Reesing. And Colt McCoy, you got to pressure him because you got an inexperienced defensive backs in your secondary if you're Kansas.
Reesing switching up the play, a little option, he'll pitch it to the right side. And this is Sharp, stays in bounds and then knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And on the stop was Eddie Jones.
And Dan, you know, the wind is a factor. They threw the ball on first down to Meyer. They've run it since. Right now, they're working into the wind. Texas kicked off with the wind at their back. Let's see if Kansas can matriculate the ball down the field besides short intermediate stuff into this wind.
2nd down and 5 for the Jayhawks. They have produced at least 400 yards of offense in 8 of 10 games this year. It's tipped up front, and it brings up a 3rd down and 5 for Kansas. Sergio Kendall The junior linebacker out of Dallas, Texas, got a hand on it.
Yeah, Sergio Kendall has got real explosion in his hips. He and Miller are running a little stunt. Sergio Kendall is the penetrator. He got inside. Miller was looping around the outside. When he got inside of the offensive tackle, got his hands up and got that big left mucker on the football.
Todd Reesing, 18-5 as a starter. He owns 32 school records here at KU. We mentioned he is from Austin, Texas, one that got away from the Longhorns. Reesing finds the open man, Desmond Briscoe. Boy, has he been a weapon, Dave, as of late. First down for Kansas.
He really has. He's really starting to understand coverages. And look at him get the inside release here. Beasley lets him get inside, runs a slant, and it's a courageous route because he knows Giddings is going to be right there to put the lick on him. Secures the football. Briscoe is a big-time explosive player on the edge.
You see he's closing in on 1,000 yards receiving. Another first down for Kansas. Reesing finds the open man again as he swings it to the wide side. And it looked like Kerry Meyer may have pulled up. That would be a huge loss for Kansas. Their leading receiver, as Meyer made the catch, he's caught at least 3 passes in every game this year. Let's take a look at the very end of the play.
Yeah, Jonathan Wilson making the block, and you can see Kerry Meyer just kind of slowing up, and he kind of hops on that right foot, gets his left foot up off the ground as quickly as he can, and he seems to be okay. He's being checked on the Kansas sideline right now, kind of walking it off a little bit.
Second down and 7. Kerry Meyer, by the way, is also the backup quarterback to Reesing, as well as being the leading receiver. Reesing, play action. Good protection, now steps up. He is elusive, but brought down. In on the stop again, Sergio Kendall.
Sergio Kendall. He's a linebacker, but now against the nickel defense, he plays the rush defensive end. Look at the spin move that he has, and he stays after it. Not a quarterback sack, because Reesing did get back past the line of scrimmage. But I'll tell you, he's got explosive power that converts to speed, does Sergio Kendall.
Sharp, the junior in the backfield, along with another junior, Angus Quigley. He's a young man from Texas for Kansas. In their backfield, along with Reesing.
Should be an offer. Angus Quigley.
Third down and 9 after the loss of 2. Good protection again. Reesing misfires. Let's check in with Jim Knox and an update on Kerry Meyer.
Right now, it does not look good. Kerry Meyer on the sideline just took off a heating pad on his left hamstring, so that left hammy is bothering him a little bit. Cold weather, it's windy. That could be a factor, guys.
There's no question. It's hard to stretch out when you're tightly wound in your muscle groups like the skilled players are in this cold weather. Tougher to stretch them out. Big factor. They're like thoroughbreds. They have to feel perfect to be able to run that race.
Jordan Shipley is back to receive for the Longhorns. Booted away by Rojas. Takes a Texas bounce and will stay right here as they down it at the 29-yard line. Let's take a look at the KFC starting lineup for the Texas Longhorns. And they've got a little shift up front, don't they, Dave?
They sure do, Dan. They got a true freshman at the center position, David Snow, due to injury. Jordan Shipley is basically the soul, heart and soul in the offense with Colt McCoy.
All-time passing leaders, number 1 on that list. We'll see him today. Colt McCoy, only a junior for Texas, ahead of Major Applewhite, who's on the coaching staff, and James Brown as well. He is tremendous, completing 78% of his passes this year. I mean, think about that, 78%.
Crazy.
McCoy hits the man out of the backfield. That's Fozzie Whitaker. And we talked to Mac Brown about Colt McCoy and the difference this year, and he said the game has just slowed down for him.
Yeah, and really, it's all off season, Dan. I mean, it's all about the commitment that he made in the off season. Hit the weight room, put on about 10 or 15 good pounds, and he went over every single play with Greg Davis, why they made the call, what the expectation was. He's like a coach on the field right now. He can anticipate calls that Greg Davis is going to make.
And what's interesting about him, too, is that not only is he a great passer, he is Texas's leading rusher, which may surprise a lot of folks. In on the stop was Jake Laptad, a sophomore defensive end. Their leading sack man out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll highlight him on our KFC lineup.
Yeah, he's a good edge guy. I mean, he can pressure the quarterback. And James Holt, he'll put his hand down. He'll play linebacker, also put his hand in the dirt and pressure off the edge. Darryl Stuckey may be the best football player on the defense. He'll make a lot of plays in the secondary. You got to keep your head on the swivel for him.
McCoy, third down, plenty of time, fires.
Looked like early contact.
Now they get the late flag as Jordan Shipley was the intended receiver. Philip Strozier whistled for the flag along with Damon Patterson, who was in.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call. His arrival was way premature to the arrival of the football.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So that's Damon Patterson, the freshman, and the defensive backfield of KU has been much maligned as of late.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And if they can protect Colt McCoy like they have done here, they are going to get the ball down the field. And Patterson does go through Shipley to make a play on the football. And his contact with Shipley is definitely early, and therefore the flag is thrown.
50 penalties against Kansas, second fewest in the Big 12 this year. They pick up the first down following that penalty. Colt McCoy rolling to his left, wide open near that sideline, the Texas sideline. That was Quan Cosby. And let's check in now with our Days In scouting report.
Well, they got to match the early energy. There's excitement, enthusiasm, senior day, Kansas. Texas has to match that. Be efficient in the running game. Not a big number, no magic number, but enough where the run fake and play action has an effect. And they have to get Todd Reesing out of rhythm. They can't allow him to get comfortable. They have to contain him, get him out of rhythm. Don't let him get outside the edge.
2nd and 1. And they'll pick up the first down. That was Whitaker. Caleb Blakesley in on the stop, the junior out of Ottawa, Kansas for the Jayhawks.
You know, here's looking at the rushing game of the Longhorns, Dan, the last 5 games. Right here, 80 yards rushing in their loss to Texas Tech. 47 of those 80 yards came on the last drive of the game. But here, in Missouri, they dominated. They bounced back against Baylor. When they rush the ball for 150 yards or more, this is a tough offense to deal with when they're that balanced.
McCoy, play action, steps up over the middle. And another first down for the Longhorns. Strozier in on the stop, the catch by Jordan Shipley. McCoy and Shipley are roommates. Those two know each other so well.
Yeah, it goes back to when they were kids, sandlot football. Their dads were college roommates and teammates at Abilene Christian. So they've known each other their entire lives. And it really is like a sixth sense. It's almost mental telepathy when those two are playing pitch and catch.
Shipley, as they run an option now, as their leading receiver. And Kansas able to string it out. Longhorns will lose a few yards. It's Mike Rivera, third on the team with his 65th tackle. And also in on the stop was Mortensen.
Yeah, and Stuckey's around the area too, and Stuckey will stick you. There's no question about that. When you look at Rivera, look down at his legs. He's got a knee brace on, and that knee brace is indicative of the problems that he's had. Look at that right knee. He's got it braced up a little bit. He's been playing through a lot of pain, a lot of problems. He's been limited physically, but he's a competitor and has been involved every snap this year.
One of the co-captains for the Jayhawks. 2nd and 12. McCoy over the middle again. Malcolm Williams this time, the freshman out of Garland, Texas.
Oh, you're talking about a big freshman. Malcolm Williams, 6'3", almost 220 pounds, ran a 10.400 meters in high school. I mean, this guy has got, his future is burning brightly, and he's making himself available as a big target. Everybody's getting nice inside releases on the cornerbacks and presenting themselves for their quarterbacks on those tight slants.
McGee is in the backfield, the second leading rusher behind McCoy. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 15. McCoy looking towards the end zone and incomplete. No late flag call on that play. Strozier that time was in on the coverage.
Shipley can't believe it. Mac Brown and the Texas coaches can't believe it either. Thought that there was early involvement in coverage, a double move on the outside. Shipley feels like he got interfered with early before the arrival of the football again by Philip Strozier. And Mac Brown can't believe it. He's saying it's unbelievable that that call was not made. It was a catchable pass for Shipley, but he felt like Philip Strozier interfered with his ability to go up and get that football.
McGee again in the backfield with McCoy. 2nd down and 10. And it's McGee up the middle to the 5. Touchdown, Texas. Vondrell McGee, his 8th touchdown of the season.
And you know what, Dan? Sometimes as a receiver, it's what you do without the football in your hands. And Jordan Shipley had an unbelievable downfield block that let McGee finalize the play. You know, you run routes, you catch the football, all that's good and all that's pretty. Sometimes you have to get your nose a little bloody and get a little dirty blocking people. Shipley showed himself a complete receiver with that downfield block.
Ryan Bailey on to attempt the extra point. And just like that, first drive for Texas. Vondrell McGee, the 5'10", 200-pound sophomore out of Longview, Texas. Number 3, Longhorns on top after their first drive.
Every Sunday, live, the official BCS rating show. See who will climb, who will fall, and who will take the next step on the road to the BCS. The official BCS rating show, live, Sunday.
Well, are you gonna go for it?
This is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy.
No, crazy is not connecting your new flat screen to DirecTV. Clark switched, and now he gets all his favorite channels in HD.
I'm in deep.
A man with that much HD is such a turn on.
Get the most TV for the money, and now lock in your price until 2010. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
College Football Saturday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Visit southwest.com. It's a weekly rewind of the Big 12's biggest plays.
Inside the 10, touchdown.
Fox Sports Southwest makes sure every highlight in the Big 12 gets queued back up and played on the Big 12 Instant Replay every Monday night on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas takes on Tulane. Tuesday on Fox Sports Southwest.
7-0 Texas. Number 3 in the land with 7:59 to go. The American Forces Network broadcasting to the United States Armed Forces, serving in 177 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and thank you for what you do for us.
Absolutely. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for making the United States of America the best country in the world.
Justin Tucker will kick it away. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, watch the big boys up front get the job done. They do well. Watch Jordan Shipley, number 8, right up top here. He's going to get the block on Strozier, the safety. Boom, locks him up. He's an honorary hog right there. He has been inducted into the offensive line camp of Hogdom.
7-0 Texas. The kick with the wind behind them, and now they'll just take a knee and take it 1st and 10 on the 20. Time for a game break. Let's go to Michael Eaves.
All right, guys, let's take it to the Big Ten. Penn State ranked 8th in the country, trying to recover from that devastating loss last week on the road at Iowa. At home today against Indiana, Marcus Thigpen goes 57 yards down the sideline. Hoosiers tie the game 7-all. You know, Penn State has never lost to Indiana, 11 straight wins, and the Nittany Lions still in the driver's seat for that Big Ten title.
They have a hangover. Interesting to see.
Reesing swings it out to Jake Sharp. And quickly, Texas all over him. A short gain of 2 on the play. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Dan, we talked about how cold it is. It's also windy. Winds about 21 miles per hour. 30-degree temperatures, wind chill factor you can only imagine. Now, Texas, what they did, they imported some heated benches. That's right. They rented these benches. They came all the way in from Rutgers last week's game when Rutgers were playing. Right now, Colt McCoy, Jordan Shipley on the bench as they're enjoying the nice heated bench. And next week, guys, the benches coaches are shipped over to Notre Dame when they take on Syracuse. So nice, warm, and cozy. But the big guys, hey, they don't even need to sit on the bench. Lappin, you would love it down here.
Tell me, Moxie, you forget those benches. What a business that is, leasing heated benches. You're going to love it.
The catch made by the sophomore Jonathan Wilson out of Houston, Texas, brings up a third down. 9 plays, 71 yards. It only took just over 3.5 minutes for this Texas offense. And they were aided, of course, by that late flag.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But I think it was warranted. I think there was pass interference there. And actually, they felt like there was pass interference in the end zone with Strozier on Shipley that wasn't called, but they still finished with the touchdown run by McGee.
3rd and 3 for Kansas. Reesing play action with time over the middle. Triple coverage deflected, and it brings up a 4th down. Trying to go for Briscoe.
Boy, did he draw a crowd, didn't he? I mean, Briscoe, it was like honey attracted bees right here. You know, Beasley's running with him, and watch everybody else break to the football. I mean, Briscoe is going to have a bunch of bodies. It's going to be me and my shadow. And Briscoe's going to have multiple shadows out there. The Longhorns are very aware of what Briscoe can do from a big play standpoint.
Alonzo Rojas out of Miami, Florida. And there's Jordan Shipley. He wears number 8 for the Longhorns. Back to receive, standing on his own 36-yard line. Second punt for Kansas today. It's a low liner again. Into the wind. Takes a KU bounce, though, inside that 30-yard line, all the way down and rolling and rolling and rolling to the 23.
And that low trajectory is intentional because of that wind. You don't want to get it up and have it boomerang.
Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC. Texas back on offense when we come back.
Get all the latest on the Cowboys from head coach Wade Phillips every week. Cowboys Press Conference, Monday at 3:30 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Texas has not lost to Kansas since 1938. They lead 7-0. Let's take a look at the BCS standings presented by American Airlines. Alabama still number 1.
And look at the Big 12 involved there. Texas Tech, Texas, Oklahoma. 3 of the top 5 in the BCS, still members of the Big 12 conference. Not only the Big 12, the Big 12 South. Is there a better division in all of college football? I don't think so.
Rectavisto Field at Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. Senior day. There's a look at Mack Brown. He was telling us earlier this week that his team went through the toughest stretch of games that they have ever played. McCoy, who was 4 of 5 on that first series. Hit hard. The ball was loose, but it was late, and he picks up about 4 on that play. Colt McCoy, the leading rusher for the Longhorns.
Averaging almost 4.5 yards a carry. Danny's rushed for 7 touchdowns. Quick decision to tuck it and run. And Brorson hits him. He's the meat of the sandwich. You never want to be the meat of the sandwich. I mean, Rivera and Laptat, I should say, get the big hit on him.
2nd and 5. McCoy just swings it out to Jordan Shipley. He gets a block close to a first down. He'll be just shy. Well, we didn't see Kerry Meyer on that last drive for KU. What's the deal, Jim Knox?
I think he's better, a lot better now, Dan. He just hopped off the stationary bicycle. That left hamstring continues to tighten up on him. And right now it appears to be loose. So I think, guys, he's going to give it a go this next offensive series.
And when he caught the football, he was just a little bit out of balance. And in this cold weather, sometimes those muscles really tighten up, and that left hamstring yanked on one a little bit.
They did get the first down, 1st and 10. McCoy over the middle. Connects again with Jordan Shipley. That's his favorite target.
You know, you look at these two guys, both their dads high school football coaches, both their dads roommates, teammates at Abilene Christian. So these guys were born and bred to play football, and they do it well. Pitch and catch. You know, the receiver quarterback is built on trust and confidence. These two totally trust each other and have absolute confidence in each other.
Vondrell McGee in the backfield. He'll get the call on the handoff. Ball is loose, but a whistle. They're going to whistle it down before it got away from McGee.
Looks like he's short of the marker, though. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Let's watch and listen. What did Mark Mangino see in here down there? Clearly, it looked like he was down.
No doubt, Dan. No doubt. And remember, in college football, every single play is being reviewed by the replay officials. And it looks like they're going to take another look at this one, a longer look, to make sure that it was after the play was dead.
Isn't that an amazing stat we just showed the folks? Is that the running backs of Texas have yet to fumble the football this year.
Haven't lost a fumble.
The play is under further review.
They have not lost a fumble in all those carries. Some have been, they've been on the ground, but they have not lost possession of a fumble this year. Amazing at the running back spot. He's definitely down. It looked like. I mean, his left knee is down. The
right
ball's, there. His left knee is totally down. The ball's not out yet. It's not out yet. And now, after his whole body's basically down,
the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down.
Dave, we were talking about that tough stretch that Texas went through. Number 1 Oklahoma, number 11 Missouri, number 7 Oklahoma State, then the heartbreaker to Texas Tech. First team to defeat 3 AP top 11 opponents in 3 consecutive weeks since 1983. Auburn the last to do it. It was interesting. Mac Brown told us that then they went back into pads. He said, why change things up?
Right. Well, they ran that gauntlet and they took the team out of pads for the Texas Tech game. Lost the game, didn't go very well. Put them right back into pads for the week of practice against Baylor. Ball's out. Ball's out.
Who's got it?
Kansas.
Kansas has had it. James Holt.
It popped over the line of scrimmage. The exchange, the center quarterback exchange. The ball popped straight up through Colt McCoy's hands. And remember, we have a new starting center, freshman center, Snow, and the center quarterback exchange on the 3rd and short. Now, did Snow snap the ball? Did he get it up well enough? I mean, it split Colt McCoy's hands, and it bounced over the line of scrimmage, and Holt falls right on top of it. Big takeaway for the Jayhawks. Short field to negotiate, Dan.
So Reesing and the Jayhawks take over on the 46 of Texas. Sharp is leveled by Eddie Jones. This first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Now remember, the starting center that has played just about the entire season at that position, Chris Hall, sustained a knee injury Wednesday at practice. They think he's going to be back, but not for today's game for Texas.
Reesing, catch made, first down. Desmond Briscoe, the sophomore.
Briscoe has become the go-to guy, and for good reason. Does a nice job. Look at him find the soft spot in the zone, and that's where he's advanced so much, Dan. Understanding zone coverage is where help is coming from, finding holes and settling into them.
Briscoe with 6 catches, over 100 yards last week against Nebraska. Kerry Meyer, boy, they need him, Dave, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you know, interesting, in earlier conversations with Mark Mangino, said not just the most respected football team on his football team, maybe the most respected student on campus in Lawrence. That's heavy praise for Kerry Meyer. Very unselfish football player, obviously.
Second down and 5. Kansas starting to move the football. Amazingly, Meyer only sees about 25% of the reps at wide receiver in practice during the week because he's the backup quarterback.
Right.
Reesing looking for him. The blitz was there. He picks it up. Briscoe very close to that first down marker.
Meyer's struggling. Meyer's trying to little hopscotch back to the huddle. He's struggling a little bit. That left hamstring still very tight. He's checking out of the football game, and checking in is Beery, a big true freshman tight end that they're going to go big body with on this 3rd and short.
3rd and 1. Reesing with that hard count, trying to get him to jump. Little pitch to Sharp. They string it out short of the first down. Eddie Jones, the defensive end, only a sophomore out of Kilgore, Texas.
I'll tell you what, this young man, 6'3", 255 pounds, watch him in space. Number 32 right here. Separate from the block, and in space make a tackle on a very quick-footed Sharp. That's an outstanding defensive effort by Eddie Jones, understanding leverage and making sure that he did not let Sharp get outside.
They lost a yard. It's 4th and 2.
Don't line up offside up there. Make sure you're behind the line of scrimmage, behind the football.
Meyer hobbling in motion. Racing, trying to make something happen. Avoids pressure. Short. Turnover on downs. Back to Texas.
And that's a great way to describe it, because when you lose the ball on downs, it's equivalent to a turnover. It's like fumbling at the line of scrimmage. 4 down stop. It almost, even though it doesn't go down as a turnover, it's the same effect. Both football teams have lost it. You want every possession to end on a kick. 2 possessions in a row did not.
7-0 Texas.
Watching Fox Sports Southwest, where Southwest fans come first.
Big 12 College Football Saturday. Texas leads it 7-0. Later today, our College Football Saturday tripleheader presented by Acura and Suzuki continues when 12th-ranked Missouri battles upset-minded Iowa State, followed by UCLA taking on Washington. Rick Neuheisel back to face the Huskies. Coverage of those games begins tonight, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, high definition. Jeremy Maclin of Missouri, 198.5 all-purpose yards, second in the nation. You'll see him tonight on College Football Saturday. That explosive Missouri offense.
You get Maclin in space, you're in trouble.
Colt McCoy. Flea flicker here. Looking down the sideline. Almost intercepted. Stuckey, good coverage, looking for Quan Cosby. He didn't bite on it, made a nice play.
Yeah, and that's a safety and a running on a wide receiver, and usually that matchup's going to favor the offensive football team, and Colt McCoy pays the price. Rivera gets a lick on him after he delivers the football on that flea flicker, but usually wide receiver on safety is a matchup that you like. Because of the pressure, Colt McCoy underthrew the football a little bit, and Stuckey was able to recover on it.
Dave Lapham, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Knox with you here in Lawrence, Kansas. McCoy swings it to the left side as the catch is made by Brandon Collins, sophomore from Texas. 4th on the team with his 21st reception on the year.
But take a look. Dante Culpepper has the record for single season, 73.6%. Got a couple of guys that are on pace to break that record, Chase Daniel and Colt McCoy. When you're looking at, 3 out of every 4 passes that you throw, or 4 out of every 5 that you throw being completed at this stage of the season is truly remarkable.
Well, this is a young man that wears number 3 in that backfield. There you see the numbers for McCoy. This is a young man that you really like.
Obaniah can play. I'll tell you what, he can give you a lot.
And Obaniah gets it right on cue and picks up the first down for Texas.
And I'll tell you, Obaniah against Colorado had a couple of big plays that bailed him out up there, and he did his job. Came in, caught the ball out of the backfield, and checks right out. The Texas Longhorns, as you would imagine, have many, many weapons, a myriad of ways that you can attack a defense with all the weapons that they have available to them.
Amazingly, Texas has had 43 scoring drives of at least 60 yards. They average 43 points a game and nearly 500 yards of total offense. Fozzie Whitaker back in the backfield now for Texas, and a stop up front for Kansas.
Number 28, Fozzie Whitaker.
Well, that's just nice gap control responsibility. Good team defense by the Jayhawks right there.
A sold-out Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. Senior Day. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score, Texas 7, Kansas 0. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC.
Why is the University of Texas at Austin so special? Is it the academics, the rich cultural diversity? Is it the open minds and curious thinkers that inspire self-discovery? Yes. What starts here changes the world.
The Thunder Universe on Fox Sports Oklahoma. Looking for revenge? Kevin Durant and the Thunder are hungry for a rematch when Houston pays a visit to the Ford Center. Watch the Thunder in high definition on Fox Sports Oklahoma.
Big 12 college football Saturday in Lawrence, Kansas. Take a look at the KFC game summary. 7-0, number 3 in the country. The Longhorns with the lead. Colt McCoy, 8 of 10. McGee, the 14-yard touchdown run. Todd Reesing, 8 of 12 on the other sideline. Total yards, Texas with 91 on a very windy, cool afternoon here in Lawrence, Kansas.
Both quarterbacks have been short to intermediate range passes, Dan, because of the wind and the weather.
McCoy wants to throw again with a shovel pass this time. Good job by Kansas up front defensively. That was Whitaker in the shovel pass, and Mike Rivera with his 3rd tackle so far this afternoon.
And that's a big play on 2nd down for Kansas. Now it becomes 3rd and long. Texas is off schedule. 3rd and 11 is not where you want to be, even when you have a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback, because now you can bring in some of your pressure packages. Clint Bowen can bring in some special guys and pressure packages, and one of the things that he does, he puts number 12, James Holt, down to rush the quarterback.
Obadiah is also in the backfield. McCoy steps up in the pocket, flushed out of it, and brought down.
James Holt.
2nd on the team with 80 tackles. That's his 6th sack of the season.
Well, he's the specialty guy. I mean, he'll play linebacker. They'll put his hand in the dirt and have him rush the quarterback. And there he is on the down below on the edge. And I'll tell you, he gets off the line of scrimmage very well. Ulatowski gets his shoulder pads turned to the sideline, and he gives him a soft edge. And 12 on 12, and number 12 in the blue jersey, Holt, just jolted Colt. Holt jolted Colt. How about that?
There you go. Damon Patterson back to receive for Kansas, standing on his own 32. They'll angle it to the sideline.
Shank.
And he shanked it his right. So again, the Jayhawks will have good field position. The weather playing a factor today. Also a sold-out crowd. KU back on offense when we return. Lawrence, Kansas. Big 12 college football Saturday. A good one. Number 3, Texas. They lead it 7-0 over KU on Senior Day. Todd Reesing, the first 6 games, 5-1. The last 4, though, Dave, it's been a little bit of a struggle.
Well, he's had Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Texas, pretty good defenses.
That will make a difference. Now flag.
Right guard flinched on that one. That's going to cost you. Big old Chet Hartley.
Offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Or it's Capper. I'm sorry. It's Capper in there instead of Hartley.
Yeah, the sophomore from Kansas City.
Yeah, Capper is he's a swing guard. He can play right and left guard for you. And that time he flinched, though. It's one thing, no matter where you line it up, you want to stay in that 3-point stance and don't be flinching up there.
The punt for Texas was 11 yards. So Kansas gets good field position here. Todd Reesing this afternoon, 8 of 12, 45 yards. His longest connection, 12. And the pickup there back into Texas territory. That's Tim Beery, the freshman tight end out of Omaha, Nebraska.
And again, a true freshman, and he's pretty salty. Does a nice job. Did a good job of finding the soft spot in the zone right there, settled in, and presented himself as a big old target for Todd Reesing to deliver the ski right.
A pickup of 9. See the current weather conditions, very cold, windy, trying to set up a little screen. Now they'll go over the middle. And the fans want a flag, but they don't get it. Looking for Dexton Fields. 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Yeah, they wanted a flag on Earl Thomas. They thought that Earl Thomas was early in his arrival on Fields. And was he? Fields, there's the football. It's close. It's tight. And a lot of times when you go over the back and through the guy, a flag will be thrown. But no flag on that one. A big 3rd down for Kansas. Remember the last time Kansas had a short field after the box center quarterback exchange, Texas held them on downs. 4 downs, almost like a turnover getting it back. What will Kansas do on this one?
Quigley in the backfield for the Jayhawks. Into help protection. Reesing over the middle. Going to be very close to that 1st down marker. That's Desmond Briscoe. It's been the favorite target today with a banged up Kerry Meyer. You can already hear the fans saying, go for it.
Yeah, and the fans are imploring Mark Mangino to go fourth and short, little shallow cross. Briscoe does a good job. Beery kind of clears it out, little crossing pattern. Sometimes defenders get picked off. That time they did a good job of sorting it out, but still the completion made. Kansas is going.
They are 5 for 10. Fourth down conversions this year. Remember, they pitched it.
Don't be offside.
Going for the last time on fourth down. Racing. Looking for anybody to be open, and again another turnover on downs. They cannot convert.
I'll tell you,
Gideon.
Yeah, the pressure by Gideon was the key to the play. I mean, he did not give Reesing any time to get his eyes downfield to throw the ball accurately.
So the second time they have done that this afternoon. Reesing looking for anybody. Somebody give him some help. No one's open. Turnover. 7-0 Texas. College Football Saturday is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, by Taco Bell, think outside the bun, and the first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop with the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. They've set a record for the 4th consecutive year. Attendance here in Lawrence, Kansas, over 50,000 here today. And they've averaged over 50 all season long.
Well, 8 of the top 11 attended games in Kansas history are under the Mark Mangino era. So the fans are responding to this football team under Coach Mangino.
Whitaker in the backfield. McCoy wants to throw over the middle. The catch is made. Very close to a first down. For a game break, let's go to Michael Eaves.
All right, let's go to the SEC. Number 10, Georgia, taking on Auburn. The Bulldogs have allowed 38 or more points in their last 3 games. And after a muff punt, Auburn wastes no time. Cody Burns to Mario Fannin. Some bad Georgia tackling led to a 52-yard touchdown. They're up right now 6-0.
On second down, Texas may have lost a yard or 2 in that play as Richard Johnson, big man up front out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Also Blakesley was there for Kansas, so the Jayhawks now have forced a 3rd down and 5 for the Longhorns.
Yeah, Caleb Blakesley unceremoniously slung Colt McCoy to the turf. Colt McCoy, there's his rushing numbers. Again, the best on the club. He is the leading rusher as well as a dynamic passer of the football.
Obaniah again in on 3rd down in the backfield. He'll go out to the flat. They wanted to go there. Now over the middle. Very close to a first down. Jordan Shipley.
Oh, didn't get a great spot. It's going to be close.
That's his 4th catch in the afternoon to lead all receivers.
Made by number 16, Chris Harris.
And again, when feeling a little pressure, his security blanket, Jordan Shipley. They run the little bubble screen. They do a pretty good job of getting some blockers out front. But Kansas makes a nice defensive reaction. I mean, look at it. A lot of guys running to the football right there. It could have gone for bigger yards, but Kansas was pretty darn effective in their recovery.
So Texas gets the first down. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 48. McCoy out of the shotgun. Calls his own play up the middle. Still on his feet. And that's one of those plays that Mac Brown talked about. Slide. Don't take that extra hit. For a free creditreport.com sideline report, let's join Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Dan, directly behind me, the Longhorn defense huddled around Will Muschamp, the defense coordinator. I tell you what, guys, they need a camera on him. He's just like chest bumping everybody, high-fiving everybody. 2 4th down stops by this Texas defense. You got to love playing for a guy like that, guys. Get you fired up.
Well, Muschamp, his defense is allowed the fewest points in the Big 12. That's the object of the game. Keep him off the scoreboard.
And again, this is a defense that's allowed of Texas only 207 points this year.
Watch the 4th down play here. Watch Blake Gideon. He's going to time his safety blitz. You have to have good press coverage on the edge. Gideon's the one that forces Reesing to throw it early. Great call by Will Muschamp. Great execution. Will Muschamp says, yeah, I dialed it up, baby. And you guys delivered. Mac Brown likes it. Muschamp likes it. Great job by Gideon and great press coverage on the edge.
Gideon, only a freshman. How good is he going to be before it's all said and done?
Very poised.
3rd and 3. Obaniah in and out of his hands. So Mac Brown now, a decision coming up on 4th down. Mike Rivera in on the coverage for the Jayhawks.
And look at that matchup that you just described, Dan. Ogbonnaya, a very fast running back, on Rivera, a linebacker slash defensive end. He'll put his hand down and rush some too. That is a matchup that favors the offense. Rivera said, no, not this time. I'm going to provide great coverage. Good throw by McCoy. Great coverage by Rivera, though. Nice job. Justin
Tucker standing on his own 43 will punt it away. Damon Patterson standing on his 10. Back deep to receive. They will angle it. Low kick. Of course, it is such a windy day. And they will mark that out at the 12-yard line. Good job by Tucker. KU back on offense when we come back.
This week on Fox NFL Sunday. Join the guys as America's #1 pregame show gets you ready for kickoff. Then, it's a huge battle in the NFC North as Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers against the Bears. Or, you'll see Adrian Peterson and the Vikings take on the Bucs. It's another great slate of thrilling NFL action this week on Fox NFL Sunday.
Up on the College Football Saturday halftime show, we'll see if Penn State can recover from last week's devastating loss.
And just how long should Joe Paterno keep coaching? I'll tell you what I think at halftime.
That plus scores, highlights, and of course text time, taking your questions all day long. Send it back to Dan and Dave.
Michael DeMarco, thank you. Dave Lapham alongside Jim Knox downstairs. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC, #3 in the land. The Texas Longhorns on the road. They lead it by 7 against Kansas. Deep in their own territory for Todd Reesing. It's 1st and 10 for the Jayhawks. Trying to get just a little breathing room. That's Angus Quigley, the junior out of Texas, with the carry. This first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Save time and fuel by shopping comfortably at home with Overstock.com. At home with the O. A pickup of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. Racing again out of the shotgun. Good protection. He'll swing it to the sideline. 3rd down. Looking for Angus Quigley again.
You know, Angus Quigley is in the football game. That means Jake Sharp isn't. And the last carry that Jake Sharp had looked like he got up a little slowly. Looked like he was having some problems in his rib cage area, but they can't lose him. I mean, look what he's done in conference play, averaging over 108 yards per game rushing in the Big 12.
Well, think of him being out and also limping around. Has been Kerry Meyer.
Yeah.
He's in the slot here. Firing for a first down and connecting. Jonathan Wilson, the sophomore, with the catch. You know, Dave, it's amazing. And Wilson is out of Houston, Texas. I was talking with Art Briles earlier this year. He said there'll be 300+ kids that will play Division I football out of the state of Texas next year. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, the guy that threw it to him and the guy that caught it right there are both Texas guys from that play.
You got it. Again, wide open over the middle. Another big pickup for Kansas.
Stay on your feet.
Jonathan Wilson, if he stays on his feet, he's got a bunch of yards.
Yeah, I think he felt like he had to kind of protect himself. He really didn't. There was nobody within 3 or 4 yards of him. If he stays on his feet, he's getting yards after catch. A little yakety yak, but he assumes the fetal position too early.
2nd down and 2. Kansas starting to move. Drive that began on their own 12. They'll pitch it to the right side. Oh, look at that. Lowering his shoulder and picking up the first down was Quigley.
Coaches are saying he was juggling the football. Texas has it, but the officials are saying no, he was down.
Ball carried by number 22, Angus Quigley.
Mac Brown saying he Quigley did not have possession of that football. Will Muschamp making the next call. All right, Gideon makes the big hit. When's the ball out? Oh, the ball's out before he hits the ground. He has not hit the ground. He's got his left hand down to balance himself, not the elbow, though. They're taking another look at it. The replay official, remember, in college football, every play is reviewed. It comes from the top down, unless coaches challenge it. Mac may have challenged it because he has timeouts remaining. And Mac Brown, they had a great look at it. It was right in front of their bench, and I think Mac Brown says, look, you got to take another look at this one. Quigley balanced himself with the one arm, did not have an elbow or a knee down.
The play is under further review. There's no challenge by Texas.
No challenge. They did it on their own. I think Mack was going to call the timeout, but they blew the whistle to stop the play anyway because, as we said, every single play is reviewed by the replay officials. They want to take a closer look. Now, where knees aren't down, he's lunging over bodies. Right arm to support, ball's out. That's a fumble. He has not hit the ground with any body part. The hand does not count. You can balance yourself with your hand, get upright, and continue to run. If you have the elbow down or the knee down, you're down, but not the hand.
That's a fumble.
It is a fumble. It is. And Texas came up with the football, so it could be Longhorn football with 37 yards to negotiate, a short field.
Boy, how good is Mack Brown at Texas in 11 seasons? UT 27-7 in the month of November, that crucial month, and at least 10 wins in each of the last 7 seasons.
Yeah, he has been just phenomenal. In the last 11 years, 112 wins, more than anybody. He averaged 10 wins a year for 11 years. I mean, 10 wins is the minimum standard now at Texas. They want to win the Big 12 South, win the Big 12 championship, get into the BCS championship game. That's some of their goals. 10 wins now has become, okay, that's minimum standard. That's Texas football. Will Muschamp and Mack Brown celebrating that one.
That's the right call.
Yep.
After further review, the ruling is fumble. Texas recovered. First down, Texas on the 38-yard line.
And that's the proper call. There was not an elbow down, no knee down. Quigley is basically balancing himself with the hand. Now the legs, watch the legs. They haven't hit the ground. They're going over bodies. That's just balancing. The ball is out before his left elbow, left forearm hits the ground. Good job by the replay officials, and Texas was all over on that sideline. Their reaction was spontaneous.
It's a heck of a job by Gideon with the strip. As Quigley lowered his shoulder, and the freshman was able to get that arm in there and strip it away. Texas has it now. First and 10.
Gideon made the big 4th down play, Dan, on the safety blitz.
That's right.
Will Muschamp dialed up, and then he made that play. Blake Gideon, remember, had the unfortunate occurrence in Texas Tech and not making the interception on the floating ball at the end of the game. He has shaken all that off. He's playing today.
Ball on the 38. McCoy, plenty of time, dumps it off over the middle, and a short pickup to Fozzie Whitaker. So Whitaker gets the start this afternoon, and this is a Texas offense led by their offensive coordinator Greg Davis. Also on that sideline, Major Applewhite, the former quarterback at UT.
Look at everybody from Texas look to the sideline. Everybody on the roster looking to the sideline. Major Applewhite, no, that's not disco. He's signaling plays. And he's telling them everything. He's telling them formation. He's telling them play, telling them snap count. We're all on the same page.
Last year he was in Alabama with Nick Saban, and here we go again. Another 3rd down upcoming for Texas. Whitaker, the ball carrier again.
Okay, Dan, let's Major Applewhite now now he's in communication with Greg Davis. Greg Davis and Major Applewhite, you can see he's in the headset. Now he's got the call from Greg Davis, and he's signaling it in. Everybody from Texas is looking over at Major Applewhite, so everybody's going to get on the same page. That man right there, Greg Davis, made the call that Major Applewhite is signaling in to the Longhorns. A big 3rd and 6 right here.
Crowd on their feet here in Lawrence. McCoy deflected, incomplete. Looking for Kirkendall.
Justin Thornton, a former safety, Justin Thornton made the deflection. He's now playing corner. The ball's thrown a little bit behind. If he leads him a little bit more, now he's worried about Rivera, but the ball thrown behind just enough for Justin Thornton to make the play. Now, Texas's defense held Kansas twice, 4 down on a short field. Texas's offense going for it, the short field, 4th down against Kansas's defense. Who will win this one? Big snap right here. Major Applewhite has signaled in from Greg Davis.
This place is electric. Play clock at 1. Timeout. Took a while to make that decision, exactly what they wanted to do on the 4th down. It'll be 4th and 6 when we come back on Big 12 College Football Saturday.
Okay, so you want to keep up with the Joneses? Here's what you got to do. Buy yourself a football team that wins the big one. Becomes the most valuable sports franchise in the world, allowing you to move out of the stadium with a hole in the roof and build yourself a brand spanking new one. Or you can buy the same truck driven by the guy you're trying to keep up with in the first place. The all-new 2009 Ford F-150. The #1 toughest, most innovative truck ever built. Hey, when you want the best in Texas, this is it.
My name is Jerry Jones, and my truck is the all-new 09 F-150.
Champion Apparel salutes the history and tradition of the Big 12 Conference. 2007 was a banner year for the Kansas Jayhawks. Touchdown! Rock Chalk Jayhawk was heard echoing all throughout Lawrence. In 2008, expectations are high, and there's no place quite like Memorial Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Get ready to wave the wheat. Kansas is back for more. Champion, it's how you play.
Arguably the biggest play in the game right here thus far. 4th down and 6 for the Longhorns. Obadiah in the backfield with McCoy. And again, the folks here at Memorial Stadium on their feet. McCoy, a blitz, he got drilled and it's picked off. Interception for Kansas. Damon Patterson.
It's an incomplete pass, but that even helps Kansas a little more. They pick up more yards. They ruled they didn't have possession. Incomplete, but Clint Bowen, he brings 5. He brings the blitz, and Mortensen gets home and delivers the hit. And as a result, Colt McCoy has to throw the ball early. The ball is trapped, no interception. Great play, though. No completion made on 4th down. Tremendous effort by Damon Patterson, who was playing wide receiver earlier this year.
Amazing. Play action. Reesing with some time. Now tucks it, looking for a block to his left side, and he will slide. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That is an amazing story, though. Damon Patterson, who just made that deflection on that play for Kansas defensively. Aqib Talib, of course, we remember him, the outstanding defender for Kansas. Well, he started at wide receiver against Kansas State last year. Well, Patterson now a two-way starter. He's played on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but he's pretty all cornerback now because he's starting at that cornerback position, and they were struggling there. They moved the safety to corner, and they moved the wide receiver to corner. Justin Thornton was playing safety earlier in the year, starting in corner.
There it is again. Good read. Desmond Briscoe with the catch, but a flag on the play.
This is where this official might have seen some holding at the left tackle position.
Bobineau is in the thick of things.
Illegal chop.
Number 3, 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
What you have is Crawford, the running back, is helping the tackle, and he watched the illegal chop right here. Watch the chop block occur. Here he is. The tackle's not quite engaged, but he has an illegal chop block. Crawford does. 15-yard penalty, a high-low, low-high combination block. I think that's dicey because he was hit and let go, and Crawford made the block when there was no engagement there. I think that's stretching the rule further than it should be intended to be stretched. I thought Crawford made a good play there. The tight end, he jammed the defensive end and let him go, and then Crawford made the chop block. I think Kansas got the raw end of that one.
2nd and 25. Reesing looking deep. And the catch made near the 1st down marker. Desmond Briscoe again.
Oh, he makes it a convertible situation. Picks up a lot of yards right there, and now back on schedule are the Jayhawks. The protection is outstanding. Doing a pretty good job of balling Miller and Melton up there, and Briscoe just runs great routes. Gideon makes the hit, but too late.
5 catches, 50 yards for Briscoe. 4 wide receivers for Reesing here in the spread offense. Pressure is there, and then he's brought down. The pressure initially by Sergio Kendo. I'll tell you what, Dave, he has been all over the place, and finishing off the play, Roy Miller.
Boy, I'll tell you, Kendall is He's a force off the edge, and the protection broke down. Remember, Kansas has 2 redshirt freshmen at the tackle position. The concern was, would they be able to hold up on the edge? Redshirt freshman working against Kendall. Redshirt freshman on the backside as well. Beats that Kendall beats his target at the tackle position. Redshirt freshman Jeff Spikes.
The wind is with Alonso Rojas. Shipley spinning and brought down. Inside that 35-yard line, they'll mark it at the 33. Willie O'Quinn in on the coverage. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday returns as the Bears battle the Packers. The Vikings take on the Bucks or other regional games. The Cardinals head to Seattle. Rams battle the 49ers. Coverage begins with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. We got a good one here. Number 3 in the land of the BCS. Texas on top on the road, 7-0. Just over 4 minutes to play, first half. McCoy flushed out of the pocket. He'll tuck it. The leading rusher for the Longhorns. Diving ahead and near that first down marker for Texas.
You know who made a good adjustment on this was Whitaker. Whitaker throws a nice block when he realizes Colt McCoy has tucked it to run. Watch Whitaker. Watch what he does. He's going to, oh, here he goes. I'm going to pick off a block. Nice job. He got just enough of a piece of James Holt where Colt McCoy picked up extra yards. That's being aware as a football player.
To fuel his first half points, Texas had 6 against Texas Tech. Sideline. Oh, and a flag on the play. And nearly an amazing catch on that sideline by Quan Cosby, the senior from Texas.
And Thornton is upset and disappointed. He's going to be called for the interference. And Cosby had him barely beaten. That was a great throw by McCoy.
Defense, number 46. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, automatic, first down.
Thornton's giving him cushion, and he can run with him a little bit, but you can see with the right hand, he's arm barring him, and he's jostling him around before the football gets there. Gets his head turned to find the football late, but he jostled Cosby around well before the football made it to Cosby's final destination.
Whitaker in the backfield. 1st and 10 for Texas. McCoy again wants to tuck it. He does, and he's hit. Whew. Well, we had heard that he was a little beat up, Dave, coming out of their last game against Baylor. Then prior to that, having a couple of tough games. You see some of the flurries starting to fall here in Lawrence, Kansas. You just wonder how beat up he is going into this game.
Yeah, I think both these quarterbacks came off of tough deals. Nebraska hit Todd Reesing a bunch, and not only Baylor last week, but as you said, you know, Dan, it's a situation where he's been hit in that gauntlet stretch of the schedule. He was knocked around a lot.
A pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8. McCoy sets up a screen. They've got blockers. Nice. Big hole. 25 down to the 20 to the outside. Inside the 20 it goes. And that's Whitaker again. Boy, they set that up beautifully, and it was Thornton in on the stop for KU.
Watch Charlie Tanner get the block. You know, the offensive line, it's 1,001, 1,002 get out in space. Watch number 52 in the white jersey. He gets his block, and a couple of guys get blocked. Charlie Tanner got the kickoff block and allowed Whitaker to get up the football field. There's the block by Tanner, and a nice little peel back block inside as well gave Whitaker a lane.
McCoy again out of the pocket, diving ahead, and picks up 2 on the play. Colt McCoy passing today is 13 of 18 over 100 yards.
Man, that's just, and here we are in the red zone. This is where Texas has made their money, in the top 15 in the country in both areas. The only team in the nation that can say, or one of 3 teams in the nation that can say that. And Colt McCoy has been absolutely astounding in the red zone. I think he's only thrown 1 interception to something like 14 or 15 touchdowns in the red zone.
We approach 2 minutes to play first half on senior day here in Lawrence. McCoy, plenty of protection. Watch out. He's looking end zone, throws short. And a completion. It'll be 1st and goal for Texas, and that's Whitaker again.
You know, that's Whitaker, and he's working against James Holt, the linebacker, and that's a favorable matchup for the offense. James Holt doing everything he can. We saw Holt sack Colt McCoy. Look at the versatility. Holt's in coverage on Whitaker. Colt McCoy throws to the back shoulder, intentionally throws it behind. Whitaker finds the football. James Holt can't, and they do it all the time. Throw that back shoulder where the receiver can make the adjustment much sooner than the defender can.
First and goal for the Longhorns. The ball on the 2. Whitaker gets the call to the outside, and he's tripped up. Joe Mortensen on the stop. The middle linebacker, big kid, 250-pounder, the senior out of California.
Nice job, everybody playing their defensive responsibility. Nobody over pursues. Now you separate from blocks and run. Mortensen does an outstanding job of doing that, but he had other defenders in the area as well. Strozier would have made the play if Mortensen didn't.
Whitaker again in the backfield. Came in averaging 6 yards a carry. Second down. Goal to go. Ball on the 4. They lost 2 on that play. Play clock is under 5. Impressive drive here for Texas. McCoy wants to throw. Plenty of protection again. Nobody around. Now he's going to run a block. Goes to the outside. Touchdown, McCoy.
Well, he just directed Whitaker right to making that key block for him. Colt McCoy, the traffic cop. Outstanding effort out there in space.
It's his 8th rushing touchdown.
And talk about a guy that doesn't panic and shows total poise. As it's rush hour around him, there's pressure eventually. I mean, nice job up front to start. The pass protection's outstanding to begin with. Then some pressure. Now he says, yeah, pick him up. Turn back and get Mortensen, will you, Whitaker? And he does. He sachets in easily.
Extra point is good. 14-0 Texas. Colt McCoy, only a junior in his career, 29-7. His completion rate in his career, 70%. The winningest quarterbacks in Texas history, the legendary Bobby Lane. Then you have Colt McCoy trying to add to his 29 here today. And number 1, Mr. Young, Vince Young, as he led Texas to a national title.
Well, you know, he passed an icon. There's no question. He passes up an icon, and now he's chasing basically a cult hero in Vince Young. And he's 1 win away from doing that. And right there, Colt McCoy, not only a Heisman candidate, but he is basically making himself an icon and cult hero in Texas lore, playing the quarterback position the way he's played it. And he's only a junior.
Dave, they say that Mac Brown was telling us this week that Colt talks with Vince Young at least 1 time a week.
Right.
And he said that Vince Young was a guy that was always leading the drills, the 7-on-7, leading in the weight room, leading by example. And they say Colt McCoy has picked up on that and just carried that through.
And the way he improved his body in the offseason, when your quarterback does that, everybody else says, am I doing enough? Look what Colt's doing.
Tucker, short kick. Fielded at the 26. Big hit. Brought down at the 32. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim.
Okay, Dan. It's going nuts over here. Oh, we're all suited up. Coming up at halftime, we head to our College Football Saturday studios. Join Michael Lees, DeMarco Farr. We'll take a look at top 25 scores and highlights also. It's text time, so get out those cell phones. That's coming your way at halftime. What, Dave? What a helmet. I don't think that could have fit you, though.
I'll tell you, you're going to have a bigger cage than that, Noxie, if you want to play inside. If you want to play with the big boys, Noxie, got to protect that grill, keep the modeling career alive.
Angus Quigley in the backfield. Reesing will roll to his right. He stumbled a bit. Kansas, maybe a risky play here. They do have the wind at their back, but you're down by 14, only 33 seconds left, Dave. A lot of times you'll see going against a team like Texas, take a knee and just go in at halftime and not be upset being down by 14.
Yeah, and Texas to score as late as they did was a big momentum builder for them. I think Kansas is trying to do something to combat it, but you don't want to be overly aggressive, make a mistake. Look at this little trips formation where they stack it up in a triple I with the 3 receivers right.
We were watching game film of their Nebraska game. They did that a couple of times to the sideline, and it's incomplete. And a big hit on that sideline by Gideon.
Yeah, did he ever? Was giddy up by Gideon right there. And this young man is going to get a lot of attention for a lot of years. Desmond Briscoe is big time. And Gideon, he's starting to get a little swagger back now. He's making plays, delivering hits. I mean, he had his dauber down after that Texas Tech game, but he's a coach's son, and Will Muschamp said, look, Blake, your time's going to come. You have a lot of football, a lot of snaps ahead of you. You're going to make a lot of big plays for us, and he already is.
So it's 3rd and 10. Reesing wants to set up a little screen over the middle. Oh, risky pass. And making the catch somehow was Meyer.
Man.
Into triple coverage.
And he paid the price for that one. That ball just floated up there. Meyer, and that's a lot of confidence in Meyer to just float it up. And he got, you talked about getting sandwiched. I mean, he's between McElroy, and that's just a big hit by Jared Norton. Two linebackers sandwiched him. Right now they're asking Meyer, do you know, are you in Austin or Lawrence? If he answers properly, that's a good sign.
The pass was incomplete, and it brings up 4th down.
You know, sometimes you get that long distance phone call, it's ringing and nobody ever picks up the other end, the other receiver. You got to get that ringing out of your head.
It's been a tough first half for Meyer, dealing with a hamstring issue. Also that pop there at the end of the half with 21 seconds to go. And Texas now can come after this punt if they wish.
He got hit right, and sometimes you get hit under the face mask. You can take a hit to the jaw. In fact, I saw a rookie linebacker, Keith Rivers from USC, #1 pick of the Bengals. Hines Ward broke his jaw in 2 places just on a peel back block, but up underneath that face mask.
Pressure here with 21 seconds, a little bit on your snapper, Cale Anderson. He gets it back though to Rojas, and the kick is away. And it's a beauty. Shipley will step out of bounds at the 17-yard line. 14 seconds to go here in our first half.
Couldn't quite right the ship and stay in bounds. He just kind of cruised out of bounds on the sideline. Directional kick executed very well right there.
After a 51-yard punt.
So both drives were kept alive by one, a flag on the scoring drive, and then the other was a pass interference.
Right, and that has been the fly in the ointment for the Jayhawks a little bit. Pass defense. Nebraska hit that mark big time last week, and Texas taking a little advantage here in the first half.
14 seconds. Texas content on running the football and running out the clock of this first half.
I think you go in with a 2-score lead at the half, happy to be there.
Colt McCoy, 14 of 19, 122 yards in a cold, windy afternoon here in Lawrence.
Watch Shipley's block right there that springs McGee for the 14-yard touchdown rush. And Colt McCoy says, I'm going to get one myself. His 8th of the year. Little traffic cop. Whitaker peeled back on Mortensen. 2 rushing touchdowns for the Longhorns.
Jim Knox standing by with Mac Brown.
All right, thank you, Dan. Coach, you got to be happy the way your defense is playing. A couple of big 4th down situations. You guys put up nothing on those guys. And also, right now, rushing yards, only 3 for Kansas.
Well, we're getting after them on defense. We're keeping pressure on a great quarterback in Todd Reesing. The 4th down stops are turnovers for us, and we forced a turnover. Offensively, we started hot. When we got into the wind, we were inconsistent. We're not running the ball very well, but I thought Colt led us on a great drive there at the end, and we get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
There we go. Okay, appreciate the time. Thank you, Mac. Right now, let's head to our College Football Saturday studios. We're at halftime. Texas leading Kansas 14-0. Let's join Michael East and DeMarco Farr. Michael.
To recognize these. All right, Noxie, thanks a lot. Hey there, fans. Welcome inside our studios back here in Los Angeles.
Looks cold there.
Yeah, it does look cold. Nice and warm here in Southern California. We got a warm game going on. Texas struggling a little bit today on the road, taking on Kansas, down up 14-0. Text time's coming up, folks. 310-425-9455. You would not believe some of the questions we already have in for DeMarco. But as we mentioned, it's a 14-0 game, but what about the Paper Lions? Oh, Nittany Lions? How can they recover from that devastating loss against Iowa? This is the College Football Saturday halftime show.
It's hard to describe the heart of a city as diverse and creative as Austin. It's not hard, however, to show you its soul. What starts here changes the world.
Welcome back to the College Football Saturday halftime show. Texas up 14-0 on Kansas. Vondrell McGree, 14 yards on that touchdown score. And that's the score we have right now. Let's go to some other scores in the highlight. We go to the Big Ten. Number 8, Penn State, trying to recover from that devastating loss last week to Iowa, taking on Indiana. Darrell Clark up the middle. Nittany Lions starting to roll.
Oh, ball out. Yep. Gives it right back. This could be the best Penn State offense since some guy named Kerry Collins lined up under center. You see an example of great talent, young talent in Penn State. Darrell Clark goes up, comes down with points. Indiana not impressed, though, still fighting for pride. Watch the big pin come out of this pile. Now, look, you've got to contain. It doesn't matter what their record is. This is November. Everybody's playing their best football. Indiana just proved that.
Third quarter, it's Evan Royster time. Handoff, he's up the middle, and he would find pay dirt for the score.
Wow.
Penn State leads it right now 20-7, 11-0 all-time versus Indiana. Let's go to the SEC. Number 10, Georgia on the road taking on Auburn. First quarter, special teams issues for the Bulldogs.
Georgia had everyone believing they're going to play for a national championship. Not with plays like this. Auburn says, hey, we'll take that muff punt, and we know exactly what to do with it.
Go for the jugular.
Check out Cody Burns here. That anemic offense comes to life, kind of muscles it down the football field. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Georgia Bulldogs in the picture. 1 Auburn Tiger, 1 touchdown. Not going to get it for Georgia.
Let's go to the second quarter now. We still got that 6-0 score. Matthew Stafford, Noshawn Moreno. I thought he was a running back.
Who? Noshawn, still in the mix of the Heisman, scoring points like he always does.
Georgia's up 7-6 at the half. Back to the Big Ten. Number 11, Ohio State taking on Illinois. Jim Tressel trying to become 3rd all-time winningest coach in Ohio State history. Terrell Pryor helping him out there. 3rd and goal, Ohio State up 7. But later in the first, here comes the Juice.
Juice Williams, let me say, he's not a good quarterback, throws a lot of picks. I'll tell you what he also does. Throws a lot of touchdown passes as well. That one was for Maddie right there, our stat guy who hates Juice Williams. We love him. Ohio State special teams, the old double thud comes up big again. Jim Tressel, let me tell you, he coaches all 3 phases of his football team very, very well. You see it on offense here. Big Beanie just pounding his way into the end zone. What would have happened if he was actually playing at USC?
Or healthy. How about that?
Oh, my goodness.
Later in the second, same score, Terrell Pryor, another touchdown. Buckeyes go up big, 23-13 right now. They've won 14 straight road games in the Big Ten. Let's go back to Penn State for a second, because it seems as though every week, at least every year, someone's asking when Joe Paterno is going to retire. Now, he has said recently some comments suggesting that he's afraid of retiring because of what happened to Paul Bear Bryant. A lot of people don't realize when he retired at Alabama, he passed away less than a month later.
Yeah, 28 days later. But the question I have is, why do you want Joe to retire? It's not like he's overpaid by coaching standards today, only makes about $500,000. Penn State is going to play for the Rose Bowl. I mean, they're coming down to a Rose Bowl race right now. They're 9-1, and he's still getting NFL caliber talent to come to his school. You just saw it on the replays. I don't know why you want him to step down. Penn State's still doing well. He's been at that school for 59 years, 43 as head coach. Why would you want him to step down? Coach as long as you want, in my opinion.
They win today, and next week against Michigan State, they will play in the Rose Bowl. He's the hardest working 81-year-old I know.
Keep going.
Keep your job. We're at the half right now. Texas up on Kansas 14-0. You're watching the College Football Saturday halftime show.
You got to think that this may be one of the best seasons that the Big 12 will ever have.
There's no other show built for Big 12 football like Big 12 Showcase.
Welcome back to season number 13.
Get a weekly preview of every matchup as Fox Sports Southwest gathers the experts to reveal exclusive insights about the Big 12.
Their schedule is so tough. Excited for them to see if they can carry that momentum.
And what they're going to have to do is get off to a good start in this game.
Big 12 Showcase, all this week on Fox Sports Southwest.
Texas has won 6 straight against Kansas. The 3rd-ranked Longhorns are halfway to making it 7 in a row over the Jayhawks. Folks, we are still taking your questions at text time, 310-425-9455. You're watching the College Football Saturday halftime show. In Lawrence, Colt McCoy, we called him the Bionic Man, and this is why. He can do it with his arm, but also with his legs. That touchdown put the Longhorns up 14-0. Let's check out Notre Dame, Navy. You know, Navy beat Notre Dame for the first time in nearly 40-something years last year. They're going to do it again today?
Option football is assignment football. I'd say someone failed their assignment for Notre Dame, but this is how you respond. Coming right back the conventional way, hand it off, run it in the end zone, Notre Dame establishing dominance.
We know it hasn't been exactly dominant, though, for Charlie Weiss. You see what the record is so far this season, also his career. But look at the bottom line. 0-2 in the bowl game, just 4-9 versus ranked teams. Let's go to some text time right now. I appreciate those questions coming in for DeMarco. First up, this is a good one. Justin, if you had to coach in your locker room, who would you want?
Let's see it. I got to go with Pete Carroll. College football, I have to go with Pete Carroll. He's a motivator. He's a recruiter.
Adam, which player in the Big 12 has the best chance of winning the Heisman?
Wow, ask me something easy next time. Whoever wins the Big 12 South, that quarterback is going to win the Heisman Trophy. I think Harrell will edge out Crabtree if provoked.
Well, speaking of Texas Tech, the Hulk can bench 650 pounds. DeMarco, how much can you bench? 651
pounds. Absolutely. 651 going right up, baby.
Do you remember your best bench?
About 455, I think.
455.
Yeah. Before lunch.
Impressive.
Thank you.
Impressive for an old man. All right, folks, enjoy the second half. You've been watching the College Football Saturday halftime show.
Saved by Zero.
Now, for a limited time only, you can get amazing 0 APR financing on your favorite Toyota.
Saved by Zero.
That's 0% financing on 12 different models. With savings like these, no wonder Toyota has the best overall value of any brand. So hurry in now and see how much Zero can save you on a new Toyota.
Saved by Zero. Saved by Zero.
Fox Sports Southwest takes the biggest matchups in the Big 12 and fast forwards to the good parts. The Big 12 No Huddle, all week on Fox Sports Southwest.
Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by KFC and cold, and I mean cold, frigid cold. Lawrence, Kansas, and Texas has a 14-point lead. Dave Lapham, Dan McLaughlin back with you, and big place to find that first half in particular defensively for Texas.
Yeah, Texas was outstanding, Dan. I saw Toto fly by here at halftime, but so far...
I mean, it's cold.
And it is windy. I mean, Andy M, Toto, they're all rolling by here. But what about this Texas defense? Look at Blake Gideon force the fumble, and Texas recovers short field. That was a big play. But the first fourth down opportunity, short field for Kansas. Reesing pressured, nowhere to go with the football. Second time they had short field. Texas defense stops them again. Blake Gideon with a safety blitz. McElroy in coverage, no opportunity for Kansas. Will Muschamp excited. Mac Brown excited, and they should be. Look, Texas was not penalized in the first half. Neither team doing much on third down. Neither team running the football. Kansas a mere 3 yards rushing. And the fourth down stops were huge. This was definitely a defensive battle, as the numbers show in this first half. As it gets colder, the wind becomes more of a factor. Playing into the wind and having the wind at your back may decide this football game.
And here we go to start the second half. Jordan Shipley is back. You see the wind play tricks with that, and it's kicked out of bounds. Not the way you want to start the second half if you're KU. Colt McCoy was 14 of 19 in that first half. First drive resulted in a touchdown, then the fumble, couple of punts, turnover on downs, a touchdown. You see what they've done on their first half possessions. They have it. 1st and 10 to start this second half. Do the Texas Longhorns as they lead it, number 3 in the land, by 14 points against KU.
You know, Dan, the last time Kansas was shut out in the first half was earlier this year. Iowa State shut them out in Big 12 conference play. And then Sharp had an outstanding second half against Iowa State. They were down 20-0 at one time, was Kansas, and they rallied to win that football game.
Whitaker in the backfield. McCoy with time again, but he'll tuck it. Boy, he did that a bunch in the first half. Spins out of one tackle and gets to the first down. The leading rusher for the Longhorns, Colt McCoy. Joe Mortensen in on the stop for KU.
You know, this is another factor. Colt McCoy, I think, is going to be more judicious about running the football with the weather being such a factor. I mean, when the weather is cold, the football is slipperier, and it's harder to compete in the passing game. harder to grip it, harder to catch it. I think Colt McCoy may tuck it and run a little bit more in the second half, particularly with the wind being a factor.
Low throw, picked up, and staying on his feet is Quan Cosby, the speedster, the senior for Texas. By the way, McCoy on the ground with 36 yards. First half leaders, Colt McCoy, 14 of 19. McGee had 2 rushes, one of those a key one on the first drive, resulting in the touchdown. Fozzie Whitaker, 5 catches, an average of better than 8 per catch.
You can see checking down to the running back a lot in the passing game. And McGee had a 14-yard touchdown rush. His other carry was for no gain.
So it's 1st and 10. Texas driving in the first possession. They'll swing it out in the flat. That's Jordan Shipley, and Shipley then is wrestled down. Mike Rivera in on the stop. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Dan. Mark Magino at halftime saying they got to find a way to jumpstart that offense. 2 key reasons why it could be difficult. Jake Sharp, the running back, hurt ribs. They retaped those ribs. He's wearing a rib protector right now, but he's going to give it a go here in the second half. Mark Magino just talked to me. He said, hey, I want to try it out, Coach. They're going to give it a go. We'll see what happens. They need him and also a healthy Kerry Meyer, but you cannot get that left hamstring healthy in that quick of a time.
Thank you, Jim. 2nd and 9 for McCoy in the Texas offense. Out of the shotgun, his 10th rush. Again spinning, and again he's hit hard. And on the stop was Mortensen, his 2nd tackle of the second half. And Mortensen is slow to get up for KU.
About that, Mortensen getting the worst of the hit on Colt McCoy. Bobineau really stroked Sharp in that rib cage. Let's take a look at what Texas did. They did match that early intensity. They scored on their first drive of the football game. Efficient run game. It was okay. Nothing great, but better than Kansas. Reesing out of rhythm. They did a pretty good job of that. I mean, I think that's why they're up 2 scores. They pitch a shutout and you rush the ball for 2 touchdowns. You're doing all right.
Big number 3 in there again for Texas.
Obadiah doing the job. I'll tell you, he can blitz pickup right there.
Trying to get a block from Obadiah. Short game for McCoy. And it brings up 3rd down. James Holt, the linebacker from Altus, Oklahoma, in on the stop for KU.
Okay, decision time for Mac Brown. 4th and short. You have a field goal. You have the wind at your back in this situation, so I think he's going to go for the field goal here and make it a 3-score game potentially.
Ryan Bailey will attempt this kick.
Fake.
48-yarder, the fake, and jumping ahead. Look at that leap. Jordan Shipley, my goodness.
Wow. Oh, I'll tell you what, that is just great film study right there. And the Longhorns fake the field goal. Watch Shipley and watch the guys up front. Look at him blow the line of scrimmage backwards. And Shipley goes airborne. Shipley looked like an airplane, not a ship. Look at him. He is up and over. He's airborne for a good 5 or 6 yards. Man, it put some wings on him. He can fly back to Austin.
Whitaker in the backfield. The drive kept alive thanks to the leap by Shipley. Whitaker gets the call, bounces it to the outside, lost it, fumble, and who's got it?
Tanner says Texas fell on top of it. Dockery may have gotten it. Yeah. Big old
Barrow was there, and Dockery popped on it.
Well, that's the second fumble that the running backs have had, but they didn't lose either of them. And watch Shipley trying to get a block on the edge, and he can't get the block, and Rivera punches it right out of there. Great job by Rivera. And McCoy was in there fighting with his big old lineman Dockery for the football.
Obadiah in the backfield with McCoy, the Heisman Trophy candidate. McCoy, play action with time, looking to the sideline and slipping, it looked like on the play, was Quan Cosby.
Exactly. He was supposed to plant and come back to the sideline, little comeback pattern to the left sideline, and as he planted, Cosby's feet went right out from under him.
Dave, we talked about the rough stretch that Texas went through, but in the middle of those games, those 4 tough games, against number 11 Missouri, amazingly, Colt McCoy, 91% completion rate that game against the Tigers.
Yeah, it's just crazy numbers. And in that 4-game stretch, around that time of the season, Shipley had 40 catches, 411 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He had a season in that 4-game stretch.
big third down. Movement up front and a flag.
Now, who was the first movement?
Ball start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Wheeler jumped, but Dockery moved as well. And Dockery pulls Wheeler. See Dockery? Here's Wheeler. Who's reacting to whose movement? They're calling Dockery, but I think Wheeler was the first one to move. And the lineman can react to the defensive lineman's movement. Wheeler reacted like, my bad, I made a mistake. But he wasn't penalized. Dockery was penalized for the second movement.
3rd and long for Texas. KU needs a stop. Sold out here at Memorial Stadium. Senior day. McCoy, pressure, steps up, throws. Into the flat it goes. It's a foot race, and the catch was made by Cosby, and it looks like he picked up the first down.
Well, you got a linebacker running against a receiver. That matchup in that race is going to be won by the receiver every single time. On a shallow cross, finally, Colt McCoy finds Cosby, and the closest pursuer is a linebacker. Mortensen cannot quite take the proper angle to cut Cosby off, and it's another first down.
There's Mark Mangino, first coach in history to win the National Assistant Coach of the Year. Did that with Oklahoma back in 2000. Unanimous choice for the National Coach of the Year at KU last season. Wow. 6 for Texas. Obanaya.
Nice job up front. You know, Texas offensive linemen, they run that inside zone. They get you running a little bit. Then the back plants the foot. Obanaya plants that upfield foot, and it's a one-cut deal to the end zone. Watch the big boys up front. Nice blocking, zone blocking on the backside, seal it. You know, if you try to backdoor it like the linebacker did, you guess wrong like he did, Obanaya will make you pay like he did.
Extra point can make it 21-0 in favor of Texas. Bailey splits the uprights. Well, the drive continued thanks to the fake field goal and this dive ahead. Look at that, the leap from Jordan Shipley. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday.
Mark, we have teams on both coasts that are interested, but Milos only wants to play for Dallas. Milos really wants to play for Brussels. Milos only wants to play for Shanghai. Buenos Aires. Frankfurt. Paris.
Milos really wants to play for Rome.
How's your Japanese?
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. Life tastes better with KFC. And brought to you in part by Days End, the best value under the sun. And the first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Save time and fuel by shopping comfortably at home with Overstock.com. At home with the O. Cold afternoon in Lawrence, Kansas. Shipley's dive and leap, jump, whatever you want to call it, kept the drive alive, and Obanaya picked up his 4th touchdown of the year. It's 21-0, number 3 in the land, Texas. It capped off a 10-play, 60-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 49 seconds. The Taco Bell scoring drive for Texas. Little indecision who's going to take it. It's Herford. Herford to the outside. They need something positive. Herford holds on to the ball. Late fumble. They're going to whistle him down, and KU will have it with their first possession of the second half. Let's go back to the fake field goal and look at the linemen up front, Dave. They did a great job.
Well, watch what happens here, Dan. Look at him blow off the line of scrimmage. And Shipley, he's returned a kickoff 96 yards for a touchdown, a punt 45 yards for a touchdown. That's as big a special team as he's had. And right there, Obanaya says, you know, we're going to finish this. Shipley, great call by the coaching staff. Shipley executes it. Got to finish it, and Obanaya did.
Jake Sharp is in the backfield for Kansas. Will we see much of Kerry Myers? Sharp gets the carry, cuts it up. He's tripped up, a pickup of 3 for the Jayhawks. First half possessions for the Jayhawks.
Well, as you can see, they didn't score a point, so it wasn't all that effective. There's the 4 downs, here's the 4 down deal there where they stop them. and punting the football. They have the fumble, key fumble that was caused by Gideon. And that's just an outstanding effort when you hold the team on 4th down twice like the Jayhawks did.
Matt Brown was saying the young man that wears number 1, Jake Sharp, tough kid. We have to keep an eye on him. They've done that. There's the drop in a wide open Desmond Briscoe, but Jake Sharp, 5 carries, only 12 yards. First half leaders for Kansas. It brings up a 3rd down for the Jayhawks. Reesing 13 of 23. Sharp 4 rushes, only 9 yards, and Briscoe, just saw him drop that. Didn't drop many in that first half. 5 catches, Dave, for 50 yards.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the 1-2 punch. You know, when you're a boxer, you like to have the right cross and the left hook. Well, the left hook, Meyer is limping with that left hamstring.
3rd and 7 for Reesing. KU only 2 of 8 3rd down conversions today. Reesing with time, steps up, delivers. Meyer wide open across midfield, then he steps out of bounds.
And that's a late hit.
Late flag comes in too on the late hit.
Yeah, you have to know, you have to be more aware where you are on the football field. There's a big white boundary there that's 5 yards, and Will Muschamp not happy about the fact that that's the first penalty on Texas.
Late hit out of bounds.
It's Jared Norton.
They had no penalties in the first half. Pressure, protection is outstanding for the Jayhawks. And Meyer's just sucking it up to play. And Norton, you can't do that. You have to realize you're well out of bounds. He was 5 yards out of bounds. And he sees Meyer limping, and it's almost like you're going after wounded prey. And he couldn't contain himself, but you got to.
Reesing and the KU offense now in Texas territory. 1st and 10. Good protection. He'll swing it out to the flat. Sharp avoids a tackle and then steps out of bounds.
Pass complete to number 1.
Well, Mark Mangino has had Jake Sharp for 3 years. We had a chance to visit with the KU head coach and ask him about his tailback.
I think they say about him, well, he runs well, he has speed. But he's more than that. He's a tough customer. He's a guy that will play hard every snap. He's durable. He takes a lot of hits and jumps back up, gets back to the huddle. And if you give him some room, he's dangerous. He not only can run inside, but if he can get outside on you, he can create some big plays.
The drop that time by Jonathan Wilson, and some of the folks here in Kansas a little bit restless with 2 drops on this drive.
And cold weather becomes a bigger factor as the game wears on and it becomes colder. The football, it's got rosin on it, and when it's cold, the football is slick. And you have to be aware of that. I'm telling you, all these guys though are wearing these gloves that have tackiness to them. And I just think it's a matter of concentration and focus, because, I mean, you can catch a pea going 100 miles an hour in those gloves.
It's a big 3rd down, 3rd and 11. 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Reesing in trouble and short with the throw. You're in a situation here too, Dave, where you're into the wind. Yeah. So, you know, you've got to get deep into Texas territory just to even think about a field goal.
I think you got to go 4 down again. You're not going to punt it, because if it goes in the end zone, you're talking 11 or 12 yard field advantage differential. You're not going to kick the field goal this long into the wind. So I think they are going to go for it. Have they bounced back? No, didn't really bounce back in the first half from that loss to Nebraska. And then unpredictability. Well, Texas wasn't fooled very much, and the protection pressure didn't go in their favor either. That's why they're down a couple of scores right now, and 3 scores in the second half.
Play clock was down to 3. Reesing, and it's complete. The catch made one-handed by Desmond Briscoe. Oh, goodness.
I'll tell you, all these receivers are using their helmet now. Another Tyree catch. Remember in the Super Bowl against Rodney Harrison? It looked like Desmond Briscoe did the same thing. It kind of helped him catch the football with that helmet a little bit. I mean, he deflects the ball to himself, press it against the helmet. There you go. It's Tyree. It's David Tyree.
1st and goal. Sharp brought down. The tackle that time by Roy Miller. Our best spy, best connection. How about the connection here?
And Beasley's saying, what do I have to do? That's great coverage, isn't it? Nah, Briscoe says, I'm going to reach behind you, deflect it to myself, off my headgear, and make the catch. I mean, are you kidding me? If you're playing a game of horse, you can't match that. That's about as pretty a catch as you're going to see anywhere.
2nd and goal with the ball on the 7. KU needs to strike here.
They got to score, and not just 3. I don't think they settle for 3. I think Mark Mangino goes 4 down everywhere right now.
Reesing, the shotgun, middle, touchdown! Kansas touchdown, Dexton Fields. On senior day, the senior picks it up.
He stepped up. Jayhawks
in kick formation
pierced the end zone at a very appropriate time. And after the catch that was made by, an explosive big-time wide receiver, Desmond Briscoe, you have to finalize that drive. And Fields motivated. Dexton Fields says, hey, my last name starts with a B. I'm going to do the same.
Brandstetter on for the extra point.
The kick is good.
Let's go back to the catch to put them 1st and goal. Amazing.
The deflection that he made to himself to make that catch is unreal. And then Fields says, I'll make a little Fields a dream right here.
And we say we've got a game. It's 21-7.
Cowboys football is back, and Fox Sports Southwest has the coverage you need every Cowboys game night. From highlights to interviews to expert analysis from former Cowboys Rocket Ismail and Nate Newton. Cowboys game night on Fox Sports Southwest.
Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Dave Lapham, Jim Knox, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. It's senior day here in Lawrence, Kansas. And with that catch by Dexton Fields, the Jayhawks get on the board. Lead now cut to 21-7.
Well, Texas has got their hands team on the field. They're anticipating onside kick from the Jayhawks right here. They didn't get it.
The kick will be fielded at the 16. Shipley with a head of speed and good field position for UT.
Kick return by
well, it's senior day, the final home game for 18. For Mark Mangino, the last 4 years, record-setting here at Kansas, 31 wins, most in a 4-year period. 2 undefeated home seasons, 05-07. Played the Orange Bowl and won it just a year ago.
First time since '69 they went to that major of a bowl, and 6 wins for 4 straight seasons. Last time 03-06. Man, and Mark Mangino's got a big affection for these kids. We'll talk about it more after the snap.
Watch out, McCoy from his backside, sensed the pressure. Now he'll tuck it and steps out of bounds. Will that be a late hit?
Careful.
Just saw one thrown on Texas. No call there.
Mark Mangino talked about how his seniors have been through a wide range of things. Tough, dark times to great times and everything in between. They're part of the turnaround to respectability of the Kansas program. As a result of everything they've gone through, they've grown not only as football players, but as people. They can reflect back on being part of something very special. The 12-1 season last year and winning an Orange Bowl. That's all very, very memorable stuff for the rest of their lives.
2nd down for McCoy. Short with that throw. Trying to hook up with Jordan Shipley. Check that, it was Quan Cosby. McCoy, a rare miss on a wide open man. And Cole McCoy is now 17 of 23. After the touchdown by KU. And a big 3rd down. Their fans, Dave, are right back in it.
There's no doubt. This core of fans has supported the Jayhawks in that turnaround, and they'd love to see an upset of the 3rd-ranked Texas Longhorns.
3rd and 6.
Watch right here, Shipley. That's the guy.
Timeout. Big 3rd down upcoming for McCoy and the offense. 3rd and 6 when we come back on College Football Saturday.
Weeknights on the best damn sports show, period. Thursday. That's unbelievable. It's back and better than ever.
You really got to watch your backside.
We bring you the funniest.
Oh, my goodness.
The craziest.
Whoa, he broke the window.
Most outrageous moments in sports.
What was that came flying in?
It's Best Damn's Top 50 Sports Bloopers 2. Weeknights at 11.
21-7, Texas on top. Tomorrow night, be there live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings, the official BCS rating show. Find out who's moving up, who's moving out, who's moving on towards a berth at a BCS bowl game. The official BCS rating show tomorrow at 8. 3rd and 6 for Texas.
Again, watch for Jordan Shipley right here, the inside guy in the 3-receiver set. He may get a matchup on a linebacker.
Obadiah is checked in for Texas. McCoy.
There he is. Oh,
dropped it. 4th down coming up. Shipley, a rare drop.
Shipley ran a little pivot route, and as he took it inside, look, and Kansas ran a little zone behind it. Deposits it right through Shipley's hands, hits him right in the breadbasket, and drops to the turf. Rivera closest in coverage.
So John Gold punts it away for Texas. Back to receive Damon Patterson, the freshman out of Mesquite, Texas. Patterson standing on his own 14-yard line. Tremendous kick. Oh. Takes a KU bounce into the end zone. They'll have it 1st and 10 on the 20. And we'll stay right here.
Okay.
Well, let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Dan, I tell you what, Kerry Meyer is going to give it another go. You know, he set out that last offensive series from Kansas after limping to the sidelines. He stood over by the heater. He wrapped his left hamstring again, and number 10 is going to go back on the field right now in just a moment. But Kerry Meyer, he's just going to come out in crucial situations. That hamstring continues to bother him, guys.
Well, Texas has won or shared the Big 12 South Division Championship on 4 occasions. Dave, they are 70-16, 11 seasons in the Big 12, and KU now trying to get back in this game. Big
man,
a hit!
Oh, Gideon is hurting. Gideon is hurting. He is knocked out. I mean, down goes Frazier.
Quigley ran him over. Those two have had 2 or 3 hits like that today.
Oh man, that's a helmet-to-helmet shot right there. And Gideon is struggling to recover.
Remember, Quigley lowered his shoulder, did the same thing to Gideon earlier. Gideon, though, somehow was able to strip the football, one of the biggest turnovers of the game.
And they're checking his neck right now, and he's kind of coming to his senses. You can see he's in pain. Look at his lower body. He's just rolling those legs around. He's in some pain. I would not be surprised if they go overly cautious here and strap that helmet down and put him on a piano board and don't take any chances taking that helmet off. When you're talking about neck or spine injuries, you cannot be careful enough. Mack Brown obviously concerned as he comes out in the football field. You do not take chances with this. I would not be surprised to see them take every precaution they possibly can. And boy, I'll tell you, a hit like that brings a hush to a packed house faster than anything. This is the part of football that scares everybody.
Medical personnel from both sidelines are on the field.
He's up.
Well, that's good to see.
He's sitting up. Well, you know, it's like whiplash. You know, Dan, it's like you got in an accident and your head snaps back, just like you're in a car accident, and that whiplash effect can be dramatic. And watch Quigley lower his head. Boom! Right? Oh, he hit him. There's the whiplash, and he hit him right in his neck and whiplash that head back. I mean, that's just lowers it. Oh, boy, and the whiplash effect. And, I mean, you got to be careful with those neck injuries. Again, lower the head. Oh my gosh, look at the whiplash deal. And then you hit the turf, which it's cold. That turf's hard as a rock. And the second hit, when you go to the turf, doesn't do anything to help you either.
Gideon came into this game as the 3rd leading tackler for Texas. He is only a freshman from the state of Texas, and they feel he is going to be a phenomenal player before it's all said and done.
Well, you know, Will Muschamp said he has a calming effect on the defense, even though he's a true freshman, because he's a coach's son. Very cerebral football player, and it is. They're concerned about that neck. You can see that, you know, they're supporting that neck, making sure that he's okay, and making sure that he has his bearings as he gets to his feet. It's good to see him up under his own power. That's for darn sure.
We were talking, Dave, before the game that we thought a factor in this game could be the inexperience and the undersized defensive backfield of Texas. Now they're going to have to go even deeper with Gideon out.
Yeah, and Gideon, he finally, it looked like he wanted to try to get off the field without any help, but I think they talked him into, look, you know, just why don't you take some assistance to make sure you can get off the football field and don't take any chances here. And obviously Blake Gideon has got some recovering to do. I'd be shocked. I mean, you can't let that young man back in this football game.
And even though KU is down, you're starting to feel a little bit of the momentum shift in this game following the huge catch to put them first and goal, then the score. They stopped Texas on the drive. Now this play, and the fans are right back in this game.
No doubt.
Quigley in the backfield along with Todd Reesing. 6:40 to play in our third quarter. Quigley gets it again, gets a block. Big hole, and look at that big hit.
Jeez. These guys are they're laying leather out there.
Christian Scott, the safety, he's a freshman as well.
Will Muschamp is not going to be happy with his gap control here by the defense. They lose contain on the outside. It's an error defensively, but that is a helmet-to-helmet shot back. He said, okay, you're going to helmet-to-helmet my guy, Gideon. I'm coming right back after you. That's saying I'm protecting my teammate. Christian Scott said, I'm in for Gideon, and I'm going to show you I'm in for Gideon. I'm going to lay you out.
Quigley, though, picks up the first down for KU. Reesing gets a nice block, little protection. Looking sideline. Is there interference? You bet. Flag on the play.
And there's a flag roughing the quarterback. There's two flags. There's interference and there's roughing the passer as well. But I'll tell you what, Quigley did a great job in blitz pickup.
Coverage by number 7, Dion.
Now Texas starting to lose their composure a little bit because of the hit. Quigley on Gideon. You have to, okay, you know, retaliation.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 37. That penalty's declined. Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
It's a 15-yard penalty either way. Henry Melton is the player that roughed the quarterback. Watch Henry Melton put the hit. And you know what? I'm not sure. I mean, all he's doing is finishing a play. But at any rate, he's called for the roughing the quarterback. Here's the pass interference. Beasley grabs at Briscoe, which I can understand the way Briscoe's playing. And when's Briscoe going to write his book like David Tyree did after that catch?
It's first and 10 for KU. Briscoe, 6 catches, 76 yards. Texas showing a little blitz. Now they pull back. Is it coming out the corner? Reesing sees it.
Kendall, watch Kendall. Here he comes.
Reesing behind the intended receiver as he was looking for Jonathan Wilson.
81, Jonathan Wilson.
First down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop with the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. Along with Dave Lapham, I'm Dan McLaughlin up here in the booth at Memorial Stadium. Jim Knox on the sidelines. Big 12 college football Saturday. 2nd and 10 for Kansas. Reesing with plenty of time. Now we'll have to scramble. Floats one, and it should have been intercepted in and out of the hands of Christian Scott, who just checked in the game for Gideon.
It's amazing. Remember Gideon against Texas Tech? There was a floater. Christian Scott in for Gideon on this play. Gideon would have been the defender that would have been able to take advantage of this floater. It's tipped a little bit, and Scott cannot make a play on it. It looked like Lamar Houston, who's playing snaps with an injury to his foot, may have just tipped that football a little bit and made it float a little deeper than expected.
Confusion in the secondary for Texas. Now they're set. 3rd and 10. 3 of 10 are the Jayhawks on 3rd down conversions. They'll rush 4. Reesing with time. Scrambles to his left. Trying to make a play. Reesing still with time. Throws into coverage, and it is incomplete. Looking for Briscoe again.
I'll tell you, Reesing lives another day on that one because he just threw that up for grabs. But this is where he's most dangerous. Texas wants to contain Reesing. They don't want him extending and creating plays like this, a la Doug Flutie, Fran Tarkenton, all the other diminutive quarterbacks. And they did a great job of plastering receivers down the field, though, even though Reesing was extending the play by many seconds.
Rojas will kick it away. The sophomore from Miami, Florida. Shipley is back, standing on his own 12. Low kick. Takes a Texas bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 27. Later today, our college football Saturday triple header presented by Acura and Suzuki continues with 12th ranked Missouri battles upset-minded Iowa State, followed by UCLA taking on Washington. Rick Neuheisel returns to face the Huskies for the first time. Coverage of those games begins tonight, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific in high definition. Gene Chizik and Iowa State, the Cyclones, will try to pull off an upset if Mizzou can win. And if Texas, of course, would hold on here, that means Missouri wins the Big 12 North.
And Gene Chizik, former defensive coordinator with the Longhorns, and a member of the coaching staff that won that national championship, got the gig at Iowa State.
McCoy in the offense, back on the field. He'll chuck it and run. Work out. McCoy midfield, and he'll slide into Jayhawks territory. Rivera with the stop.
Well, the Red Sea parted for McCoy. Kansas is in man coverage. Their heads turn. Once he saw the lane, nobody rallies to the quarterback because they're all in man coverage. And finally, when the defensive backs realize it and turn, McCoy's gobbled up about 20-25 yards on him. McCoy sees everything, believe me. Tremendous football IQ.
13 rushes, 72 yards for McCoy. Far sideline and overthrew the intended receiver, Quan Cosby. Trying to hook up with the senior, the speedster Cosby. And it was Thornton in on the coverage. There's a look at the Big 12 active leaders. Graham Harrell, undefeated. Texas Tech up next. They get Oklahoma. Chase Daniel tonight. And Colt McCoy all in the top three.
And McCoy, of course, has another year to go. Graham Harrell and Chase Daniel graduate. But Colt McCoy, it could be blow by next year, his senior year at Texas. If, in fact, he stays for his senior year, which he's already declared that he will do so.
It's 2nd and 10. Fozzie Whitaker the carry. And a pickup of 4. Stop again by Mike Rivera. For free, creditreport.com sideline report. Let's join Jim Knox.
All right, Dan, right behind me, Blake Gideon talking to some of the trainers. He is okay. Head injury, they're calling it. Of course, he will not be back in the game. But the good news is, guys, he's all right. Walked off, no problem. He's just a little dinged up right now in the head, guys.
Well, yes, that was a tremendous shot. And that 1-2 hit. You know, the hit that you take helmet to helmet, then when you hit the ground, just compounds it all.
3rd and 6 for Texas. McCoy lofts it to the sideline. A flag on the play. That'll be interference. Trying to hook up with Cosby again. And that flag will be on Justin Thornton, it looks like.
Yeah, and he's trying to sell offensive pass interference. Cosby and Thornton were doing a little chicken fighting over there. A little hand-to-hand combat.
Pass interference. Defense, number 46. Penalty the first down, the spot of the foul. First down.
You mentioned that Colt McCoy has said he will come back for his senior year. Currently 38 players on NFL rosters from Texas. How do you project McCoy? How do you think he's going to be as a pro?
Yeah, the big question on him is he big enough? I think he has plenty of arm strength. I think he has plenty of football intelligence. Does Texas run the typical pro-style offense? No. So you have to make a projection, and the size is an issue as well.
There's a bullet, and the catch made by Kirkendall, the sophomore out of Round Rock, Texas.
Now, is he capable? Is Colt McCoy? There's 32 teams. There's 3 quarterback jobs. Most teams. Say there's 90 quarterback jobs in the country in the National Football League. Is he one of the best 90 in the country? Heck yeah. I mean, heck yeah. That guy should be quarterbacking somewhere in the National Football League on somebody's roster. I'm not saying a starter necessarily right away.
Obadiah was in the backfield. McCoy, there's that arm strength that you just talked about. The catch made again by Kirkendall. His third reception of the afternoon.
You know, that's the thing. Both quarterbacks here today, Todd Reesing and Colt McCoy, even though we had winds of over 20 miles an hour, they throw tight enough spirals where the RPMs in the spiral, it's not going to be distorted and deflected by the wind. I mean, the wind may move, you know, a football a little bit, but it's not going to knock it down because these guys throw very, very tight spirals with some juice behind them.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 15. Kansas needs a stop. 3:40 to go, third quarter. McCoy. Kirkendall. Nice block. Gets a block, avoids a tackle, and he's inside the 10.
That was Shipley again out there. I'll tell you what, Jordan Shipley impresses me because he is a complete wide receiver. I mean, and you saw what he does on special teams. He's been outstanding for them on special teams. And watch him come to the sideline here. He's zeroing in, and he's going to take Thornton. That's an outstanding block. I mean, Shipley just, they get out of the way.
McCoy tucks it up. And he's brought down by Jake Leptad, the sophomore defensive end out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And I like all. I mean, Shipley leads that dynamic for the receiver corps. The Texas wide receiver group blocks very well, and it starts with the upperclassmen, Shipley and Cosby. They will get their noses dirty, and that has a trickle down and ripple effect to the rest of the position group.
Another huge third down for Texas. They are 3 of 9 in converting on third downs today. Obadiah in the backfield. McCoy. Oh. Touchdown, Texas. Quan Cosby. His 7th touchdown.
I'll tell you, when Cosby and Shipley are on the field together, they do alleviate pressure from each other. That is one heck of a 1-2 punch, particularly when they're on opposite sides of the field. Who do you roll coverage to? You can't double everybody. This is just tremendous protection. The vision, the lane for him to throw in is extraordinary. And Colt McCoy says, I got you, Cos. I got you.
Brian Bailey on for the extra point. It's good. Number 3 Texas in the BCS taking care of business here on the road thus far. 28-7. Colt McCoy is 21 of 30 today with a touchdown. His longest completion 22 yards. But take a look at his last 5 games. In the first 4 of that 5, look at that. Oklahoma, Missouri over 90%. Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, and then Baylor last week.
They rushed for over 200 yards here. They only rushed for 80 here. If you can't run it, you can't throw it as well. Baylor, they rushed for almost 200. And then he's throwing the ball well today. 2 out of 3. 66, 67, or 70%. 21 out of 30 for 192 yards. I mean, when you're people now, 70% used to be, that is, I can't accomplish that. Now they're doing it here in the Big 12. Everybody's completing 70%.
Well, take your picks. Sam Bradford, Graham Harrell, Todd Reesing, Chase Daniel, Gans at Nebraska. I mean, this conference is loaded.
That's why this is the best conference in 2008, Dan. The quarterback play, nobody can touch it. There's not another conference in the country that can touch it top to bottom. Saw a young quarterback last week at Baylor, Griffin. I mean, he can hurt you more than one way. It's just loaded at the quarterback position. They have triggermen galore.
McCoy is a semifinalist for the Maxwell Award. Will be in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy. And Justin Tucker will kick it away for Texas. Marcus Herford back deep to receive for Kansas. Wind behind Tucker. He'll take it from the goal line. 15. And brought down at the 17. Marcus Herford playing in his final home game today. As we mentioned, this senior class from Mark Mangino, 31-16, their record with 2 games left. The second most wins in a 4-year period since the late 1800s.
That's, yeah, they were 32-6 from 1896 to 1899.
That's remarkable.
That is remarkable. I mean, you're talking centuries here.
Quigley in the backfield. Reesing connects with his favorite receiver today. That's been Desmond Briscoe. and they are banged up. If you're just joining us, Kansas has had a struggle with Kerry Myers staying healthy today. Jake Sharp has not been healthy, but this guy has been, and he's been very good. Desmond Briscoe now closing in on the century mark as far as yardage this afternoon.
And really, they've geared their coverage toward him because of the problems with Meyer, and he's still stepping up and responding.
Just shy of that first down, second down and 2. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Reesing to throw again over the middle, and the catch is made, and a first down for Kansas. And that time it's Jonathan Wilson. I want to go back to Mark Mangino for a second. You know, he inherited, Dave, a program which did not have a winning season for 6 straight years. And he's won at least 6 games in 5 of the last 6 seasons. He's done it again this year.
You know, this is a heck of a football coach. He won the Frank Broyles Award as Assistant of the Year, and he also won the Bear Bryant Award as the Head Coach of the Year. Nobody else has done that. That is one heck of an accomplishment in the coaching ranks by Mark Mangino.
First and 10. Quigley stopped.
Ball's out.
Ball is
Ball's
loose.
out.
Texas, they say that they've got it. And no indication yet.
Yep.
They do. Texas has it. Christian Scott was in there defensively for the Longhorns.
And I'll tell you, Quigley, ever since that hit that Quigley put on Gideon, Will Muschamp saying, that's where to get the football back for the old guys. This guy's a pepper pot. I mean, his enthusiasm and energy is infectious. And look at this. I mean, just hit, put the helmet right on the football. It's deposited, and then take the deposit and put it in your account. And that's exactly what Christian Scott did. He forced the fumble and recovered it. That's a double dip ice cream cone for Christian Scott right there.
And with 1:21 to go, Texas now in this third quarter. Good field position and a chance to put this game possibly out of reach. McCoy flushed again from the pocket, but we've seen him run all day. With punt fake, he'll tuck it and picks up 7 possibly on that play as Mike Rivera in on the stop, the leading tackler for KU today.
You know, as we wind down the third quarter here, there's all kinds of scenarios we're going to talk about in the Big 12 South. I mean, there's a million ways this could go. But what if, let me throw this out there, what if Oklahoma in next weekend beats Texas Tech by a wider margin than Tech beat Texas, and Oklahoma moves ahead in the human polls of Texas in the BCS polls as a result? We'll finish the play. My thing is, if Oklahoma, you know, it goes down to that tiebreaker.
Ball start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Highest ranked BCS team goes to the Big 12 championship game. If Oklahoma passes by Texas, and because there's a 3-way tie between Tech, Texas, and Oklahoma, the Big 12 championship game will have Oklahoma and Missouri potentially, 2 teams Texas beat during the season,
right,
and they won't even be in the game. Now, how much of a twist is that? And that, I mean, that is a scenario that could play out, because the human pollsters, if Oklahoma beats Tech, say by 10 points or more, it's going to affect them.
Play action, McCoy. Oh, touchdown, Texas. Brandon Collins right after the penalty on number 5. Number 5 puts up 6.
Boy, that's making amends, isn't it? Texas, very few penalties today, Dan. They weren't penalized in the first half. That's a nice move. Of course, he's making it on a linebacker, and there's no deep kelp. I mean, that's just a breakdown in coverage. You cannot expect James Holt, the linebacker, to run with a wide receiver. And there has to be help over the top. There was no safety help over the top to prevent the deepest receiver from getting over the top.
So with 10 seconds left, the extra point in this third quarter by Bailey is good, and all of a sudden, Texas, boom, boom, they've opened up a big lead, 35-7. Well, let's take you back to 04. Back then, it was number 6 Texas here in Lawrence. KU substitute quarterback Brian Luke hits Lionel Anderson. Jayhawks take a 10-point lead with 7:41 to go. Ensuing drive, 4th and 18. Vince Young scampers for 22, gets the first down. Then 4:11 left. He races for an 18-yard touchdown. Lead cut to 23-20. 11 seconds remaining. Vince Young, 22-yard touchdown pass. Tony Jeffrey, Texas wins it 27-23 in a thriller here at KU.
Tell you, we did that game, Dan, and all I could do with mouth agape will say, wow. I mean, Vince Young on 4th down a couple of times to do what he did with his feet and create plays, and then to get out of pocket and buy time and make a perfect throw to win the game with the touchdown pass. That was Vince Young, though. In his career at Texas, 30 wins, 2 defeats. He is, no doubt, a cult hero in Austin.
Brandon Collins, the touchdown reception, his 2nd TD on the year. The 4th leading receiver for the Longhorns. So 10 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Tucker kicks it away. And Herford has it at the goal line again. Right up the middle. Popped at the 20, bounces it to the outside, and another fumble, and out of bounds. It'll be Kansas football. Malcolm Williams popped that loose for Texas, and a flag on the play.
How about that? Malcolm Williams, receiver, 6'3", 220, covering kicks.
During the return, holding. Return team, number 22, at the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Well, you certainly don't want to have to go long field against Texas when you're down 28 points as the 3rd quarter is coming to a close.
So with 2 seconds to go, KU will have the football 1st and 10, trailing 35-7 against number 3 in the BCS Texas. 3rd in the BCS, 4th the Associated Press, and 5th in the coaches poll are the Longhorns.
Well, the only team in the Big 12 South that controls their own destiny is Texas Tech. If they win out, they got it. Texas has to win and hope for some help.
Racing will hand it off. And that will end the 3rd quarter of play. That was Jack Crawford, junior out of Memphis, Tennessee, with the carry. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, Texas 35, Kansas 7. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC.
Wow, this brown bag special is really amazing.
I know, it's a great deal.
I mean, never in my life did I think I would get this much food for $6.99. It's like one of the happiest days of my life right now.
Really? How about our wedding day?
The food was good on that day too, but I think that this still probably wins.
Brown bag special. Sonic's got it, others don't. A Sonic-sized deal with 2 burgers, 2 tots, and 2 drinks for just $6.99. And for dessert, try the new Sticky Bun Dough Blast.
At a time when others don't, Nissan delivers. 0% financing on many of Nissan's most popular models. Nissan delivers. Attractive lease options on our full line of vehicles. Nissan delivers. A Nissan Altima or Rogue for only $199 a month. Or a brand new Versa for under $10,000. When you need it most, Nissan delivers.
Just about set to go for the start of the 4th quarter. A look at our KFC game summary. Texas leading Kansas 35-7. 3 rushing TDs for the Longhorns. McCoy, another big day. A couple of touchdown passes. Briscoe, big day for KU. 2 fumbles, and that really has cost Kansas a couple of times, Dave.
And 3 stop on downs. In my mind, that's like 5 giveaways. 2 turnovers and 3 times losing the ball on downs.
Jack Crawford is in the backfield with Racing. Racing, play action, rolls to his left. With time over the middle, but throws behind the intended receiver. And that's Desmond Briscoe. Let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Dan, a couple minutes ago, Blake Gideon was taken to the locker room and walking very gingerly to the locker room. They, again, head injury. He's okay, but definitely dinged in the head. Tough hit he suffered, but he's going to be okay, guys. And, of course, in the locker room right now, and that's probably the good place to be where it's nice and warm and they can evaluate a little bit more.
You know, it was good, Knox, to see him just as he was walking away there, move his head from side to side. I was a little bit worried about that neck, but he's done a good job strengthening that neck. It looks like he swallowed a bowling ball. He's got a strong neck on him.
3rd and 8 for Racing in this offense. Over the middle, and the catch made. Another first down. And how about the play today of Desmond Briscoe, who's turning into a favorite target for Todd Reesing here the last couple of weeks.
8 catches for over 100 yards on the day now. And what impresses me, Dan, is he just got lit up. And he says, oh, yeah? I'll run right across the middle and make a catch on you guys anyway. So even though Palmer stroked him on the play before this, he shows tremendous competitive spirit to come right across the middle and make his 8th catch to pass the century mark in receiving yards.
And he is from the state of Texas. He's from Dallas, only a sophomore. Reesing, good time again. Now flush from the pocket and chased down by Lamar Houston. Well, Desmond Briscoe gets away from Texas, winds up at KU, and he was a terrific player in high school. Long, wiry, and quick.
Really, Dan, I mean, he was a man amongst boys. They couldn't tackle him. You know, he looks like a young praying mantis to me here. Look at how long his arms and legs look compared to everybody else. But look at him change direction in space. And you can see once he filled out like he has here at Kansas, his body's continuing to fill out. He's going to be a real, true specimen. I mean, 6'3", couple 100 pounds, can jump, can run.
Play action again. Reesing, plenty of time. Over the middle, underthrows his man, but the catch made on the adjustment, Jonathan Wilson. If he let him, it would have been 6.
Exactly. Ran away from Chucky Brown a little bit. And Brown coming back from that ankle problem. Coverage was okay, but not good enough. Reesing steps up in the pocket and fires. And like you said, Dan, if he had just led him to the middle of the field a little bit more, might have been able to run away to the end zone.
Todd Reesing, 21 of 38 on the day. 1 touchdown, 220 yards.
How about that? 32 records in 26 games. That's getting it done as a Jayhawk.
18-5 as a starter. Reesing again with plenty of time. And he's tripped up and goes down. And finally, he's brought down by Henry Melton, who's had a big second half defensively for the Longhorns.
And Henry Melton, former running back, you know, Will Muschamp said didn't really buy into playing defensive end initially. But now he realizes with his size-speed ratio, he's going to be able to get something done. And watch him at the top of the screen be tenacious and stay after it. You know, he's starting to be able to understand technique and using his hands a little bit better. And you certainly can't, you know, there's no disputing his athletic ability. He closed on Reesing like a heat-seeking missile.
12:30 to play in our ball game, 35-7. Todd Reesing wants to throw again across the middle, and it's incomplete. Good coverage on the play. Looking for Briscoe again, and another big hit at the end of that play.
Yeah, McElroy and Scott sandwiched him a little bit. Briscoe bounces right back up, though. He's Gumby. I mean, this guy can take a hit and keep on ticking. He kind of, and McElroy did a good job of pulling up. McElroy, it was basically a defenseless situation for Briscoe, and McElroy could have lit him up bigger than he did, but pulled up on it, which is a sportsmanlike thing to do.
3rd and 16. It's a Kansas offense that has averaged 35 points a game, and here you go, Dave. This afternoon, only 7 points. You've got to give this Longhorns defense a lot of credit. They have been allowing just 21 points per game, and so much of the focus goes on the offense and Colt McCoy, rightfully so, but quietly the defense of Texas turning into one of the better units in the Big 12.
And Dan, the most important stat, points allowed, they're #1. They've allowed the fewest points in the Big 12 in conference play, and that is what it's all about. And you know, Kansas, after 3 quarters, had rushed the ball for 27 yards on 15 carries. Will Muschamp and his defensive coaches and players have made the Jayhawks one-dimensional.
On 4th and 16, the Jayhawks kick it away, and it's into the end zone. 12:11 to go. Kansas decided not to go for it on 4th down, and it's back to UT when we come back. Undoubtedly, in the Big 12, this has been the year of the quarterback. And how about leading the way for Texas? Dave Lapham, that's Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy, as we said, leading rusher coming into today's game, has done nothing to hurt that. Today, the leading rusher for the Longhorns again. And he's rushed for 2 and thrown 1. Colt McCoy putting up big numbers. He's responsible for over 300 yards, total yards in today's football game.
You know, we were talking with our buddy DeMarco Farr this past week, who's in the studio, of course, warm and cozy.
Yeah, right.
As we're freezing here. But he said, who would you take, Colt McCoy or Vince Young?
That's a great one. You know, and Vince Young is a cult hero with 30 wins. Colt McCoy is about to become a cult hero with his 30th win. He'll be tying Vince Young, and that's what you evaluate quarterbacks on. How many games you won for him?
McCoy will keep it, and it's time for a game break. Let's go to Michael Eaves.
All right, Dan, let's take you back to the SEC. Number 10, Georgia on the road against Auburn. The Bulldogs actually trailing here midway through the fourth quarter until Matthew Stafford finds A.J. Green from 17 yards out. Bulldogs go up 17-13, and check out the numbers for Stafford. Another 2 touchdowns for Stafford.
Well, I'll tell you, Michael, will Stafford come out, the junior? Will he come out in this year's draft? Another big, strong arm guy.
And Texas will keep it on the ground, try to keep this clock moving. And on the stop was Mortensen along with James Holt. Those two have been active defensively for KU.
You know, Dan, to answer your question, if I'm Colt McCoy, I say Vince Young because he won a national championship.
Right.
Until I win a national championship, and that's what it's all about. And Vince Young, look what he did individually. I mean, he put Texas on his back against USC, all those athletes defensively, and made them look pedestrian. I mean, Vince Young had an unbelievable year, finished by just an amazingly awesome national championship game.
Against USC in 2005. McCoy will throw as they set up a beauty of a play. Look at the speed here. They pick up the first down. And that's Quan Cosby.
I'm impressed with Kyle Hicks, the big lineman that's able to get out there. The big right tackle get out there in space. They run a little reverse pivot. I mean, Colt McCoy, it looks like he's going to run the option down the line of scrimmage to the left side. Here he starts. No, oh no, I'm going to pivot and throw it back. Watch number 64, Kyle Hicks out there throwing a block on Rivera. Pretty nice. Kyle Hicks, 6'7", 320 pounds, moving in space. Big boy, nice job.
Shotgun again for McCoy. They'll keep it on the ground. Keep this clock moving. Keeping the arms and the legs pumping. And a first down. How about that second effort? Jim Knox is standing by with a guy that knows a thing or two about Vince Young. Jim.
Yeah, also played with Vince Young. Of course, Colt McCoy, Jamal Charles, who now plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. You enjoying this game, all right, Charles?
Yes, sir. I'm out here watching my young teammates. I missed them, and they're looking pretty good right now.
No, do you miss playing college ball?
Oh, yeah, I miss playing college ball, especially on Saturdays, but on Sundays it's more fun, too.
Now, you get to sit back, of course, when you're playing on Sundays, you get to watch college football. Your thoughts of this Texas team right now? National championship?
Oh, they real good. I look at them every week, and I was mad when they lost to Texas Tech, but ever since then, they've been doing good, and they're really good this year.
All right, you played with Vince, you played with Colt. Give us the difference of those two quarterbacks.
Colt, he more like, it's just, I don't know what to say. Both of them kind of the same. BY, he's more like to win games, and Colt the same way, so I really don't know what to say about them, but I know both of them great guys and both of them good.
Two Heisman Trophy type quarterbacks, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they two Heisman Trophy quarterbacks, and Colt, he doing a wonderful job for this team this year. Having the team on his back, and all the young guys, he taking care of and taking them under his wings, and I think Coach doing a real good job this year.
All right, Jamal, appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow at Chiefs, I believe, playing New Orleans, right? All right, go get them. Thank you. Dan?
All right, Jim, good job. Thank you very much. And again, it's worth repeating. Texas right now, this is a credit to Mack Brown and his staff. Currently 38 players on NFL rosters. And, of course, we talked about McCoy. One of the players we really haven't mentioned much of today, and he is just going to be awesome, is Arakpo, who's the workout fanatic and has put on 50 pounds since his freshman year and runs a 4.6.
Yeah, Arakpo, 515-pound bench press, 600-pound squat, 360-pound power clean, runs a 4.6 40, and has a 42-inch vertical jump. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a freak. He came in at 210. He's up to 260, and he is just—he's gonna be a force. I mean, all in the National Football League, it's all about throwing the ball, catching the ball, defending the pass. That's pass rush and cover corners. Arakpo can rush the passer.
We have under 9 minutes to go. Big 12 college football Saturday. The screen is set up. And they've got blockers. So big gain here for Texas. We visited with Mac Brown earlier this week. We saw him at the hotel last night. And Dave, I asked him about the Big 12. I said, in all your years at Texas, now in 11 seasons, is this the best you've seen the conference? And he said, by far it is. And he said, one of the things that you see now, the offenses have changed in the last decade. But he says you've got great athletes. Instead of them going to the basketball court or playing baseball, they're playing 7-on-7. And that's changed the game.
And really, all these wide receiver divas around the country, professionally and collegiately, they're playing football instead of basketball. They're all athletically talented enough to play basketball.
Whitaker near midfield.
Ball carried by number 20.
Stopped by James Holt with under 8 minutes to play, and Texas in control of this. The scoring offenses this season, well, look at the bottom. This is an amazing graphic. Kansas led the Big 12 in 07.
Right here,
yeah,
that number.
And look at all those teams this year and what they're doing in 2008.
Yeah, there's 5 teams that have scored at least that kind of an average or better. I mean, it's everybody can hang a half a hundy on anybody. It's incredible. There's Brian Orakpo right there, making sure that he keeps that body warm. Doesn't look like he's going to be playing anymore today.
McCoy over the middle, trying to hook up with Collins. Let's check in again with Jim.
Okay, you know, you guys are talking about Brian Orakpo. Not only is he a workout fiend, but you know what helped him during the offseason was taking up boxing. Him and Lamar Houston boxed a little during the offseason. Didn't get in the ring, but that really helped him with his hand-eye coordination, shedding off those offensive linemen. Now, today, we saw him sparingly. He had that knee injury suffered a couple of games ago. What happened is he didn't play much today, but when he got in there, he did do some damage. But, again, the knee acting up a little on and off, so they're just using him sparingly right now.
And Noxie, in this cold weather, it's hard to get that knee loose, you know?
Oh, definitely so. You know that big guy. Big offensive lineman like you can run all day, but when you have little nicks like that, it's hard to get loose.
Of course, Jim can say that. He's down there. I'm up here. If I said that, I'd be thrown out of the booth. It's 35-7, Texas. Big 12 college football Saturday rolls on from Lawrence, Kansas. Dave Lapham alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Knox downstairs in second half. Texas, pretty much all Longhorns.
Obadiah takes it in to start the second half scoring. Touchdown pass to Cosby. That's Colt McCoy's touchdown of the day. He's rushed for a couple, and then actually he's got 2 touchdown passes. This is the second one that he got airborne to Brandon Collins. So thrown 2, rushed for 2. That's a Heisman kind of day in this cold weather. That's the thing. These SEC players and other Heisman candidates, they don't have to deal with, you know, wind chills in the 20s and 22-mile-an-hour winds.
Well, at the start of our telecast this afternoon, this place was packed, over 50,000, but Texas took the crowd out of it, and they put up 35 points. And the catch made there by Jonathan Wilson. This first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Overstock.com's prices are so low, you can afford to buy something for your friends too. Overstock.com at home with the O. Just over 7 minutes to play. Jack Crawford in the backfield with Reesing. Todd Reesing, 21 of 40 attempts, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Reesing, almost picked off, and then the catch was nearly made as Thomas was in on the coverage. Intended for Jonathan Wilson.
You know, I mentioned the last time we had Kansas against Kansas State, Dan, that Reesing reminds me of Doug Flutie. I mean, physically, in his approach to the game, plays with energy, plays with an edge, has a lot of fun, knows how to maneuver, slide in the pocket, find windows in coverage, find throwing lanes to take advantage of, never gives up on a play, smart, competitive. A lot of analogies. They both have the it factor.
6:50 to go, and this will be 3rd down and 3. Reesing, Flutie-like, rolling and creating, making the play. The catch made by Jonathan Wilson. Well, right on cue.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he can. I mean, he has a great sense for it, a great feel for it. He ended up hitting Briscoe on a little comeback route. Briscoe sees he's in trouble, works his way back, and the ball is thrown as Steve Reich to the sideline, and the play is made by Curtis Brown.
So the catch was by Briscoe. With under 6.5 to go, 35-7 in favor of Texas. First and 10 for Todd Reesing. Reesing, perfect timing on the hit. The hit was made by Ryan Palmer, backup cornerback out of Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, Palmer, his arrival was simultaneous to the ball. Whoop, whoop. And Palmer had the big game last week. He had a pick 6 against Griffin, quarterback from Baylor. That kind of turned the momentum of the football game, and they had a big play, a big tackle on 4th down where they shut Baylor down on downs last week as well. This Will Muschamp defense is peaking at the right time.
2nd down and 10. Reesing, little option play, shovels it out to the left side. Close to the first down is Jack Crawford.
Ball carrier number 3, Jack Crawford.
We mentioned how Mark Mangino has turned this program around, and in doing so, facilities, those have been upgraded. The Anderson Family Football Complex, $31 million football facility. They just completed that in July, and as you travel around the Big 12, we both do, you have to have the facilities to recruit and to get the kind of players to win.
No doubt, and the practice fields are extraordinary. The facility, you know, we utilized it yesterday, a little inclement weather yesterday, and we're in there studying some tape. It's a beautiful facility.
Reesing rolls and connects. Catch again by Jonathan Wilson. Reesing is approaching now 50 attempts this afternoon. He's at 45.
I noticed his right arm's about 2 inches longer than his left right now. I mean, he's been stretching that bad boy out. He's been just firing and fall back. I tell you, he's going to have to ice that bad boy down. He's throwing a lot of fastballs today.
When you don't have Meyer, Sharp has been banged up in this game. Awfully tough to beat the number 3 team in the country.
And you don't have balance. That's way too many times to throw the football. They haven't rushed it for, they haven't averaged 2 yards a carry in the ground, and they've been one-dimensional. When you're throwing it because you have to, it's tougher to throw it when you want to.
18 rushes for 34 yards today for Kansas. That time again, Jack Crawford. He's a junior from Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, this the thing that impresses me about this Kansas offensive line, again, 2 redshirt freshmen starting at the tackle position, and their primary backup is a true freshman. So they have some youth on the edge, and that's where you want to be the most solid, is at the tackle spot, and they're going to be around for a while.
Under 5 minutes to go. Reesing steps up over the middle, incomplete. Mark Mangino, his 7th season at KU. We mentioned before, the National Coach of the Year, and a magical season that culminated in the Orange Bowl championship last year. They had a record, school record, 12 wins. Just everything fell into place. The schedule, the way that their offense clicked, everything worked last year for Mark Mangino.
Yeah, didn't have Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, had all 3 of them this year, and they took advantage of the situation last year and played exceptionally well.
2nd and 10. Reesing, plenty of time, now unloads over the middle and short with that pass. Pressure there by big number 81, Sam Ochoa. He's only a sophomore. Yeah, thank you. Out of Dallas, Texas.
And he is a pretty good football player. He gets after it on the edge. He's going to be around as well.
Very good student athlete, too. 3.75 GPA in business.
Impressive. He's got time management figured out when you have that kind of GPA and have all the responsibilities of college football.
3rd and 10. Crawford in motion. Reesing close to the first down for Jonathan Wilson.
Great grab in this cold weather. Fingertip catch by Wilson.
Well, Dave, what is it about Mack Brown that has made him one of the elite coaches at college level? 11 seasons now at Texas, 27-7 in that crucial month of November. 2nd all-time in wins behind Darrell Royal.
I think it's just everything about Mack Brown. I mean, as great a coach as he is, he's an even better person. I mean, Mack Brown could do anything he wants to in this world and be extremely successful.
The one blemish on the schedule for Texas Big hole up the middle, spinning inside the 10 and brought down at the 5. Jack Crawford.
Jack Crawford.
You know, Crawford's got some abilities as well. Crawford was the junior college player of the year, and he shows you some of the reasons why. A little tight little spin right there, and he still gets those shoulder pads north and south, and he's heading for the goal line. He started sniffing that end zone, couldn't quite get there, but that's a pretty nice lug right there on the football.
So first and goal in the red zone. First opportunity today for KU. Crawford again going towards a goal line. Keenan Robinson, a freshman linebacker out of Plano, Texas, in on the stop. Norton was there as well.
You know, he showed the line coming off on the fake punt. Look at the guys come off the football right here. Getting to the next level, going to do a little chop block, little lane, little seal lane right there, a little double on the down lineman. Pretty good effort up front by the big boys all the way across.
Second and goal. Ball on the 1. Under 3 minutes to go. Racing option. Crawford. Ball loose. He picks it up, still on his feet, and finally brought down.
Dangerous to try to pick it up like that. It worked out for him, but if he didn't, man, that would have been a tough way to lose another fumble. Now, the pitch looked like it was okay. Maybe just a little. He took his eyes off the football. He was looking upfield to make his first cut. The pitch was a little bit behind him, but it was handleable if he looked it into his hands. Took his eyes off the football to see where the defenders were to make his first cut. And Kansas put it on the ground again. Will Muschamp saying, hey, look, let's not let him score in this red zone. You know, let's do another 4-down deal right here.
Good portion of the points that they have allowed has been in the fourth quarter because the second unit for Texas has been in blowouts. End zone and overthrown.
Got a roughing the quarterback penalty. They came on the blitz. Ryan Palmer ran through Reesing late.
Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And that's, again, Texas was not penalized in the first half. Lowered the shoulder, ran through him. After he had released the football, Palmer never had his head. If he had his head up, he would have seen the ball was out of the hand, and he could have pulled up on it, but decided just to lower his head and run through no matter what. He paid the price as a result, trying to protect those high-profile Big 12 quarterbacks.
So first and goal with the ball on the 4. Reesing will hand it off to Crawford. Short pickup on that play. Boy, is there any doubt, Dave, there's probably some emotions down there in the field for the 18 seniors that say goodbye to their final home game in this portion of their schedule.
And they had won 5 straight senior days, Kansas had. They were hoping to pull off a big upset in this one because obviously Longhorns a quality football team, number 3 ranked in the BCS coming in, but could not quite get it done. Doesn't diminish their other accomplishments, though. They keep their heads up and throw their chests out and be proud.
Under 90 seconds to go. Reesing to the end zone. Oh, incomplete. Looking for Dexton Fields.
You know, as we look ahead here, Reesing trying to make the completion to the back corner of the end zone, or mid end zone, I should say. Basically, Missouri is in complete control of the Big 12 North now. We will have Missouri and Kansas, not this weekend, but the 29th, the following weekend, for the border war at Arrowhead Stadium. You're talking about high emotion. Wow, that's
sold out.
Big.
Well over 60,000, end zone, and that's incomplete. Deflected that time by Brown, the sophomore.
Chucky Brown, who's probably, when healthy, as good a shutdown corner as there is in the Big 12. I mean, he did a phenomenal job shutting down highly talented. He took Iglesias out of the football game basically when they faced Oklahoma and beat him. Chucky Brown can play. Now he's had an ankle problem. He's been limited the last few weeks, but he's back and participating pretty effectively this afternoon.
4th and goal to go with the ball on the 2 for Kansas. Trying to punch it in one more time. Reesing, flush from the pocket, look out. Brought down. Texas holds.
There's Will Muschamp celebrating another 4-down stop. That's what, the 4th one of the day? And
how about that?
Again, they're all light takeaways. And Will Muschamp is just excited about his defense, bending but not breaking.
Long afternoon for Todd Reesing. He's 25 for 50. 35-7. Number 3, Texas.
The Bowl Championship Series returns to Fox this January.
College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. 7 pieces of KFC original recipe, 1 large side and 4 biscuits for just $9.99. Life tastes better with KFC. And brought to you in part by American Airlines. We know why you fly. We're American Airlines. The burnt orange, Texas 35-7 with 1:04 to go. Big 12 College Football Saturday. Dave Lapham, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Knox down on the sidelines, and a long afternoon for the KU faithful. New quarterback in for the Longhorns. John Childs is sophomore, and they hand it off straight up the middle.
Carrier number 25.
Jeremy Hills with the carry, his first carry of the afternoon.
Kind of like a yeoman-like effort for Colt McCoy this afternoon. You know, the weather was tough. It's just one of those grinded days, and Colt McCoy ground out a nice performance. Threw for 2 touchdowns. Talking down there with John Bianco, the outstanding sports information director, and Colt McCoy threw for 2 and rushed for 2. And I tell you, he's a tough kid. Ran the ball very effectively.
His numbers 24 of 34, 255 yards. This is Hills again to the outside. Down the sideline he goes. And finally pushed out of bounds with 20 seconds to play.
Number 25, Jeremy Hills.
Well, we figure that Texas is going to hold on, and we'll give them the win.
Yes.
So Texas is 6-1 in conference play. 10-1 overall.
And it's gonna be amazing. I mean, it all comes down to next week in Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma. Texas Tech takes on the Sooners. Bob Stoops has only lost 2 home games in his coaching career.
Wow.
Oklahoma State and TCU. He's like 54-2 or something crazy, I think, there in Norman. It's will Texas Tech be able to pull it off? Who knows?
Childs will take a knee, and that does it. Texas goes on the road, and they beat KU. Since the Big 12 was formed in 1996, Texas now 7-0 against Kansas. They rolled today on the road 35-7. Back with more on College Football Saturday. Texas has now won 27 of their past 31 Big 12 road games. They rolled today 35-7, and Colt McCoy has joined Vince Young with 30 wins in Texas history.
Well, Dan, to win on the road in the Big 12, you have to have competent quarterback play. And Colt was more than competent today. 30 wins. Now, Vince Young is a cult hero because he won a national championship. Right now, Colt's still a cult hero. Will he win a national championship? Mac Brown thinks he might, and Colt McCoy does as well.
He goes 24 of 34 today, 255 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Our College Football Saturday triple header continues tonight, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Number 12, Missouri meets Iowa State, followed by Pac-10 action as UCLA meets Washington. Now, this is Dan McLaughlin for Dave Lapham and Jim Knox saying so long from Lawrence, Kansas, where our score is Texas 35, Kansas 7. You've been watching Big 12 College Football.